Yu Xianxian was even more shy. While Hong Xia looked at Hu Xian and thought, could this guy be incompetent? The battle ended so quickly. Hu Xian saw her eyes and understood her meaning. How could she stand being looked down upon? She had no place to vent her anger. So she rushed over, hugged Whale Hong Xia and returned to the room. I was so anxious that I forgot to close the door. When the cry of the Whale Hong Xia was heard, everyone looked at each other in silence. Looked through the crack in the door. Clang! The door was shut heavily at this time. 2 hours later, Hu Xian came out supporting Whale Hong Xia, who had difficulty walking. Seeing her miserable appearance, Yu Xianxian covered her mouth in shock. She understood very well that she had let her husband go. However, Whale Hong Xia had a look of satisfaction on her face. At this time, Yu Xianxian remembered something. She walked up to Hu Xian and handed him an egg-sized bead. Husband, keep it, this is my life bead from now on. Xian's life will be yours. Hu Xian said to her, what are you doing? You are my wife. Not my slave, don't do this again. Hubby, I know that the natal bead is not safe with me. With you, we can communicate through the natal bead. Also, as long as the natal bead is not destroyed, I will not die. Is that so? Then how about this? Give me your demon card and your natal beads. How can I not give you some betrothal gifts? Hubby, I'm alone, and you're the one who brought me here, so what do I need a dowry for? Hu Xian said, you also need money to practice, so hurry up. Don't you listen to your husband? Alright. Then he took out the devil card and handed it to Hu Xian. Hu Xian transferred the money to him immediately. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 720 trillion demon crystals within 100 minutes. And you have received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards for completing the task. Ding! New mission. Complete the critical strike 5 times and consume 3,600 trillion demon crystals within 250 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be rewarded. Yu Xianxian, who received the transfer, opened her mouth in shock and stared at Hu Xian in complete disbelief. After a long time he asked, husband, did you turn it the wrong way? 720 trillion demon crystals. What? Hearing Yu Xianxian's words, Whale Hong Xia exclaimed, take Yu Xianxian's devil card. Yu Xianxian immediately gave her permission. When I saw the actual balance, I was shocked. So many demon crystals. It's terrifying. I looked at Hu Xian and wanted to speak, but I didn't know what to say. Hu Xian smiled and said, don't worry, your betrothal gift will be even greater. Whale Hong Xia rolled her eyes and said, do you think I followed you just for the gift? But I was looking forward to it. Demon crystals are currency that can enhance genetic power. Who doesn't like them? By the way, honey, I know a trench that can save us a lot of time in reaching the transit island, said Whale Hong Xia. He completely believed himself to be Hu Xian's and only then did he tell the secret. Hu Xian's eyes lit up and he said, wife, show me the way quickly. Whale Hong Xia said with some embarrassment, it's just that. Husband, there is an extremely evil dragon in that trench. Any creature that approaches will become his food. Hu Xian said disapprovingly. How strong is that dragon? Can it surpass the God King? That's unclear, because no one has ever provoked this dragon. And let's go meet him if you dare to provoke me. I will make a feast of dragon meat for everyone. Wife, show me the way. Knowing that Hu Xian was very capable, he didn't hesitate and said, head southeast. The spacecraft was moving at full speed. However, ordinary spacecraft cannot keep up with the speed. So Hu Xian gave the order, wives, stop first all the people on the spaceship. Transfer to the spaceship of the dead spirit Juxing wife and speed up the journey. The Indeed spaceship is very advanced and can be enlarged. When fully enlarged, it can accommodate 300,000 people. There were several spaceships on the scene, with a total of only more than 100 people, and they could carry all of them without any pressure. The spaceship was traveling at full speed, its speed increasing by more than 3 times. 2 hours later, 2 huge mountains towering into the clouds and wrapped in lightning appeared in front of us. In the middle of the mountain, there is a 10-mile wide trench. Hu Xian looked at the shape of the trench and said in shock, could this have been cut out by someone's sword? Chapter 582. I need a decent mount. Whale Hong Xia shook her head and said, I don't know. Legend has it that these 2 mountains did not exist before, but fell from the sky and forcibly split the Sea of Death into 2. Falling from the sky? So, it is very likely that this was approved by a battle between super powerful people. Then what kind of world is above the clouds? Hu Xian became very curious. Especially the terrifyingly powerful Soul Thunder Dragon. Roar. As the spacecraft approaches the trench, a roar came from the trench. The next moment, the waves in the trench exploded, becoming stronger and stronger, breaking through the sky and flooding towards the spacecraft. Every drop of seawater carried a destructive aura, as if it was going to destroy everything. Everyone on the spaceship became nervous. Huaxian waved towards the waves coming towards him. A terrifying wall of air appeared. Boom boom. The waves hit the air wall, making a thunderous sound. Roar. Another angry roar. An extremely huge black shadow rushed out of the sea. The waves receded and everyone could see the figure clearly. It is an extremely huge dragon. What is shocking is that the dragon's limbs are all tied with huge iron chains. Everyone thought of a possibility. These two huge mountains that fell from the sky seemed to be meant to suppress the sky. Roar. A dragon roared, opened its huge mouth, and sucked Huaxian and his crew's spaceship. The spacecraft's power completely lost its effect and it flew uncontrollably towards the dragon's mouth. A huge noise made the people on top stagger all over the place, looking very embarrassed. They were all terrified to the extreme, because this dragon made them completely lose the will to resist. Huaxian took a step forward, and the next moment, he appeared above the dragon's head. Thunderous. Boom boom. Thunder and lightning instantly enveloped the dragon. Roar, roar, roar. The dragon screamed in pain, and in his originally cold eyes, besides pain and anger, there was more shock. In this lower world, there are actually people who can hurt me. Turn the huge head around. He took a deep breath towards Huaxian. The spaceship then stopped. Quick, control the spacecraft to move backward. Someone shouted the order. Huaxian looked at the dragon's huge mouth facing him and said coldly, "You want to eat me, right? I'll grant your wish." He actually accelerated and rushed into the dragon's body. A spiritual weapon appeared in his hand, and thunder flashed. He slashed at the dragon's body fiercely. Ding ding ding. A black light flowed and sparks flew. Huaxian was stunned with shock. This dragon's body has such terrifying defensive capabilities. What about the defense of the dragon's scales outside? It's unimaginable. Roar. The dragon roared angrily, as if mocking Huaxian. Huaxian had to put away the spiritual weapon. Turtle-shaped fist. He poured all his strength into his fist and launched the attack according to a strange rule. Roar. The dragon felt the aura of the turtle-shaped fist and roared in fear. Boom. The black light defense didn't last even a second before it was shattered. The inner wall exploded and terrifying fright spread. Boom. The dragon scales outside were all blown to pieces. The people on the spaceship in the distance were shocked to see a huge bloody hole exploded on the huge dragon's body. Once again, I was shocked by Huaxian's explosive strength. Human, how come you know the turtle-shaped fist of the Divine Turtle Clan? The dragon's painful questioning sounded in Huaxian's mind. Huaxian had not expected that the turtle-shaped fist he learned from a turtle on Earth would be so powerful. The defense that even spiritual weapons could not break was easily broken and caused horrific damage. He smiled coldly and said, "I know a lot of martial arts, including those of various races to deal with you. The turtle fist is the lowest level." The dragon was frightened by Huaxian's acting skills. Vomit. He vomited violently, trying to vomit Huaxian out. Relying on his absolute strength, Huaxian grabbed his inner wall with one hand and refused to go out. Turtle-shaped fist. When the dangerous aura came, the dragon felt angry and desperate at the same time. Roar, roar, roar. He roared angrily, "Human, stop it. If he gets a few punches from this, the dragon that came down from the divine realm will definitely die. I never dreamed that there was an existence in the underworld that could threaten me." Huaxian paused for a moment and asked coldly, "How do you want me to forgive you? Human, do you know what my status is in the divine world?" The dragon asked proudly. Huaxian said coldly, "I don't care who you are. You are a prisoner locked up here. If you dare to be arrogant in front of me again, I will kill you." "You?" The dragon felt Huaxian's explosive momentum and didn't dare to speak. What he meant was that this guy was capable of doing anything. And if you dared to provoke him, you would be the one who would suffer. He asked angrily, "Human, what do you want in exchange for letting me go?" Huaxian sneered and said, "I'm just passing by here. And you want to eat me and expect me to let you go? Do you think I'm a stupid guy? So you're determined to kill me? Human, do you really think that I can't do anything to you? I'm telling you, I'm just being strengthened now. Once I lift the seal, not only you, but this world will be destroyed." "Really? And recover your strength and show me how you can destroy me. Human, please don't be stubborn, you will regret it." Huaxian's sneer became even stronger, and he said disapprovingly, "Come on, remove the seal, and then destroy me. I am very much looking forward to being destroyed. You can't even begin to describe how much you deserve a beating when you look like that." The dragon was so angry that he almost exploded. What we fear most is this kind of opponent who is powerful, stubborn, and fearless. He took a deep breath, suppressed his extreme anger and said, Human, tell me, what do you want? Hu Xian thought for a moment and asked. Do you want to live? Zhao Yilong said speechless lie. Do you want to die? Boom. Hu Xian took direct action. The turtle-shaped fist hit hard next to the wound, causing enormous cumulative damage. And he said viciously, next time, if you talk to me like this again, I will smash your head. Roar, roar, roar. The dragon roared in pain. After a long while, he roared, what I mean is, if you don't want to die, I definitely don't want to die, can you please not be so impulsive? The dragon, who had lived for who knows how many years, was so angry that he had lost his temper. Hu Xian smiled and said, I'm sorry, I'm young, and I'm impulsive. I'm young and energetic. I'm impulsive. You what? You want to live, right? I'll give you a chance. What opportunity? The dragon asked impatiently. I was afraid that this madman would kill me accidentally, and that would be such an unfair death. As for revenge, I thought as long as I'm alive, there will be plenty of opportunities. Hu Xian smiled and said, I'm in need of a decent mount. Chapter 583, The Frustrated Demonic Dragon. You are a despicable human. I am a demon dragon, a being comparable to the real dragons. How dare you let me be your mount? A dragon roared in anger. Hu Xian smiled and said, so you are a demon dragon that is comparable to the real dragons. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known about it. Your meat must be delicious, right? The seemingly ordinary voice caused the demon dragon's huge body to tremble violently, and its heart was filled with fear to the extreme. He couldn't help but roar. Are you a human or a demon? How can you be so evil? The demons I have seen are not as evil as you. I'm evil? I heard that you ate all the creatures that passed by the bay. Why don't you think you are evil? I'll give you 3 seconds to think about it. You want to be my mount and then be killed as my delicacy. 3-1. Buzz. An extremely terrifying aura burst out from Hu Xian's body. The Void Cat's combat power increase of tens of billions is activated. The extremely terrifying aura made the dragon extremely desperate. It is even more unbelievable. How can this human be so strong? Even if he hadn't been sealed, it seemed like he was no match for this human. How is this possible? Seeing that Hu Xian was about to kill him, he did not dare to delay any longer and shouted, Master, please show mercy. I am willing to be your mount. The names were simply changed. Hu Xian said coldly, it's too late, didn't he tell you to count to 3? I counted to 3, but you didn't catch up. The devil dragon was so angry that it spurted blood. He said in great frustration, Master, you bully long. You don't even count to 2. Hu Xian asked back with a puzzled look on his face. Didn't I count to 2? You didn't, the demon dragon cried. Hu Xian pretended to recall the past, and after a while he said, it seems that I really didn't count second. Then he said regretfully, you're lucky, I wanted to eat stir-fried dragon tendons. The demonic flood dragon's body trembled violently, and he suppressed his anger and said humbly, Master, I am your mount now, so please get out now. Hu Xian said calmly, why are you in such a hurry? I feel pretty good in my stomach. The devil dragon wanted to cry, deeply regretting swallowing this evil star. He begged bitterly, Master, my stomach smells fishy. Please get out quickly. Hu Xian smiled and said, I like seafood very much. Let me choose a piece of meat to eat. A devil dragon roared madly and was about to go berserk with anger. I thought, this is too much, I am your mount and you want to eat me. Thinking of Hu Xian's strength, he calmed down. I can't beat him. Master, stop joking, I am your mount, you will not be willing to hurt me. Right? Hu Xian said coldly, you have no sincerity at all. How can I not hurt you? The next moment, a trace of soul separated from the dragon's soul and sank into Hu Xian's forehead. After mastering this soul, Hu Xian discovered that the life and death of the magic dragon depended on his own thoughts. The magic dragon fell silent, and never dreamed that one day it would face a human being. In order to survive, it would sacrifice its soul and become the mount of the most despicable race. Thinking about returning to the divine realm, I am too embarrassed to hold my head up as a dragon, but I am afraid of death. Hu Xian was satisfied and said, that's pretty good. Don't open your mouth yet. The devil dragon then opened its huge mouth. In the distance, the people on the spaceship saw the change in Mo Jianglong's expression. I thought the boss is the boss, he is so terrifying. Even the demon dragon that the whole world fears is so terrifying. Seeing the magic dragon opening its huge mouth, waiting for something to come out. Everyone's eyes were focused on his mouth. At this time, Hu Xian walked out leisurely with his hands behind his back. The next moment, the magic dragon's huge head actually sank on its own and then hit Hu Xian's feet. The whole audience was shocked. I thought of a possibility. Could it be that this magic dragon was subdued by the boss? Thinking of this, I was so shocked that I was stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. The extremely powerful demonic flood dragon was actually subdued. Where is the dignity of the flood dragon clan? It's too big. Make it smaller so as not to scare your female mistresses, Hu Xian said lightly. But everyone heard it. The guesses in my mind were confirmed and I became numb. The huge body of the magic dragon shrank visibly. Ji Yuan and the others all flew towards Hu Xian. Although the demon dragon's aura was still terrifying and scary, Hu Xian was on his head, and everyone fell on the demon dragon's head without hesitation. This moment, the demonic dragon felt as if all his dignity had been trampled underfoot, and he was in extreme pain. He regretted it so much that he wanted to vomit blood. How could he have provoked this devil? Husband, have you subdued this demon dragon? Well, Hong Xia was the first to ask. It was only because he had witnessed the power of the demonic dragon and saw with his own eyes that it was very easy for the demonic dragon to kill a strong man. Such a person was actually conquered by her own husband. So how strong is her husband? The more I thought about it, the more excited I became, and the more I felt that my choice was the right one. Hu Xian nodded and said, yes, under this guy's desperate begging for mercy, I reluctantly accepted him as my mount. Otherwise, given his talent and strength, he is not even qualified to be my mount. The demonic dragon was so angry at these words that it nearly exploded and died. I almost lost control of myself. I was determined to fight him even if it meant my life. In the end, cowardice and fear of death prevailed, and in the face of Hu Xian's belittlement, he could only remain silent. Yu Xianxian said doubtfully, husband, this demon dragon is very powerful, how come it is not even qualified to be your mount? The magic dragon was moved. Finally someone spoke to him. I took one look at Yu Xianxian and remembered her. Hu Xian said coldly, if you want to be my mount, you must at least be an untransformed chaos dragon. But the magic dragon was dumbfounded. It's just because he knows what a terrifying existence the K-Stru dragon is. Take a deep breath and just think that Hu Xian is farting. I thought, who do you think you are? Are you the human king? How dare you claim that only a Chaos-Stru dragon is qualified to be your mount? Hu Xian chatted with a group of female protagonists for a while. Then said, everyone, get back on the spaceship and hurry to the transfer island. As for you, just go to the space you belong to. What made Hu Xian quite depressed was that the system did not show any sign of the demonic dragon recognizing its master. It's not just a combat power increase or something. After taming the magic dragon, the spaceship passed through the trench unimpeded. Whale Hong Xia said, husband, according to legend, across the Wanli Trench is the transit island. So close? Yes, this is the shortest way to get to the transfer island through this trench. We don't need to take a detour, we can reach the transfer island in an hour. The problem is that there is a demon dragon occupying the trench, and no one dares to pass by here. Chapter 584, Changing the Landing Point. It took about 40 minutes to cross the bay. Looking into the distance, it is still the vast ocean without any living creatures. It is not difficult to guess that due to the existence of the magic dragon, creatures on both sides dare not approach too close to the bay. At this time, the voice of the person in charge of the spacecraft came. All our signals have lost their function. Dead Spirit Zhu Xing explained. This means that we have indeed reached the other side. All signals from the mainland are blocked by these two mountains. We are not qualified to use the signals from this side. From now on, we can only move forward blindly. Achi Jie said at this time. Go over there, and you can reach the transfer island in 50 minutes at most. You know this place? Everyone looked at him curiously. Achi Iu said, once, we ran into trouble and had to take a detour to the other side. So it had some impact. The spaceship flew at full speed in the direction pointed by Heiju. 20 minutes later, a huge spaceship came into their sight. Probably because they had been discovered, the spaceship, which was moving at full speed, slowed down at this moment, waiting for Hu Xian and his spaceship to come up. In 2 minutes, the two spaceships were side by side. Both sides looked at each other. Iu, how come you caught up so quickly? A man in black guard uniform asked loudly. Beside him stood several other guards in black. The markings on their bodies were clearly Black 90 Black 94. Roku replied with a shocked tone, because we crossed the trench. What? Everyone on the other spaceship was extremely shocked. Then came disbelief. Achi Iu Ling said in a deep voice. Achi Iu, are you crazy or did I hear you wrong? You crossed the trench guarded by the evil dragon. Achi Iu said seriously. Yes, we did cross the trench, otherwise, why would you catch up with you so quickly? The latter sentence left the other party speechless. Of course, except by crossing the trench, how could we possibly catch up with them who had been ahead for more than 10 days? So, the dragon in the trench is gone? Achi Iu Ling asked in shock. Achi Iu looked at Hu Xian. And when he saw that Hu Xin did not stop him, he said, "The evil dragon was subdued by this lord." "What?" the entire opposing audience exclaimed, and then all their eyes fell on Hu Xin, looking at him in shock. The more I look at it, the less I believe it. How could the human race, a race that had been so badly oppressed, possibly tame the evil dragon? At this time, Qiigsi was shocked as if he had discovered a new world and said loudly, "We seem to have overlooked something." "Ignore what?" Qiu Ling asked with a frown. "Their spaceship is not our military spaceship. Because they are no longer the Death Pirates, the flags of the Death Pirates have been taken down. So they didn't notice the difference of the spacecraft at first. After being reminded by Qiigsi, they all looked at it carefully. And they were all shocked. Qiigsi said, "It's really not our military spaceship. This spaceship is clearly more advanced than ours." And all eyes fell on Qiigsi and the others. He asked in disbelief, "What happened to your spaceship?" Qiigsi said, "This is the Death Pirates, the Pirate King's spaceship, which is several times more advanced than ours." "What? So shocking. It feels like the news brought by the other party is more shocking than the last. The Death Pirates were the ones they least wanted to encounter. When things went well with them, they could just pay the demon crystal toll and leave. But when things went badly with them, they would make things difficult for them." Qiigsi, are you being held hostage by pirates?" Qiigsi Ling suddenly asked. Qiigsi said bitterly, "We did encounter pirates, but we were not kidnapped. We subdued the Death Pirates. To be precise, she was subdued by the people of Hu Xin from the human race. And now the Pirate King is his wife. Ridiculous, very ridiculous." Hu Xin asked at this time, "Are you panicking? What's the matter with you guys?" He said to the people around him, "The spacecraft is moving at full speed." The advanced spaceship reached its maximum speed and easily left Qiigsi Ling and his crew's spaceship behind. "You crazy human, you will suffer sooner or later." Qiigsi Ling's angry roar was heard. Qiu on the side said, "Boss, is it possible that Qiu and the others didn't lie to us? After all, if they want to catch up with us, they can't do it except crossing the trench, even with this advanced spacecraft." Qiu-san said, "Is it possible that they set out soon after we set out, and were hijacked by the pirate ship? It would be easy for them to catch up with us with the speed of this pirate ship. I think that's the case. It's impossible to cross the trench. The dragon is so terrifying. It is said that the strong men on Death Island were eaten alive after they attacked it. That is to say, a group of bandits kidnapped our people and are still so arrogant. We must teach them a lesson later." A quarter of an hour later, a huge island in the distance came into the sight of Hu Xin and his team. "We have arrived at the transit island," someone muttered. Hu Xin looked at the transit island. This is a huge island that stretches almost 10,000 miles from east to west. The island is very prosperous with all kinds of advanced technological buildings. As the spacecraft approaches, Qiigsi pointed to the most backward and worst port and said, "That's where the spacecraft from our mainland will land." Hu Xin looked at another huge, bustling spaceship landing site and said, "Can't we land there?" Qiigsi said bitterly, "That's where the spacecraft from the true continent land. We are not qualified to land there. Even the name has become the real continent." From this, Hu Xin concluded that the true continent might be the real continent. Otherwise it would be impossible for the Red Moon Star continent to be stronger. After all, an island, no matter how powerful it is, has limited resources. How can it be more powerful than the Red Moon Star continent? Unfortunately, no one who went to the true continent has ever returned. And there is no way to understand that place. Land towards that landing point, Hu Xin ordered. Everyone was shocked. Head Spirit Jusheng said to his subordinates, "What? Just do what my man says." The spacecraft pilot then controlled the spacecraft to change the landing location. Ground. The arrival of this spacecraft had been discovered long ago. They didn't take it seriously after all. The spaceships coming from the Red Moon Star continent were too weak. When the ground forces noticed that the spacecraft had changed its landing location, there was an uproar. Damn it, did the person in charge of this spaceship have a cramp? He actually let the spaceship fly towards the landing point reserved for spaceships from the true continent. What do you mean by cramps? I think they are tired of living. Just wait, among all the creatures on this spacecraft, there will be no one left alive. Chapter 585, This is what happens when you set your sights on my wife. A lowly spaceship coming from Red Moon Island. Turn around and leave quickly, or we'll destroy it. The defense personnel at the True Continent's exclusive landing site gave an angry warning. The Red Moon Star continent is actually called Red Moon Island. Everyone on the spaceship looked at Hu Xin with worry. After all, these are people from the real continent. And there are countless strong men there. Although Hu Xin is also very strong, They all believe that two fists cannot beat four hands, and they should keep a low profile. Hu Xin said disapprovingly. Speed up the landing. Once the order is given, we have to execute it. I prayed in my heart that there wouldn't be too many strong people on the true continent. Seeing that the spaceship from Red Moon Island did not listen to the advice, the voice roared angrily, destroy this spaceship and kill all the creatures on it. At this time, Hu Xin turned on his communicator. Although the signal here is not working properly, but it had no effect on him as a senior hacker. It is easy to hack into the other party through the signals emitted by the other party's information equipment. Controlled all of the other party's systems. When the weapons personnel pressed the launcher, they were shocked to find that the weapons system had malfunctioned. All units reported this immediately. Sir, something terrible has happened. All weapon systems in our Super Laser Weapons Division have gone out of control. Sir, the same is true for our Super Physical Attack Weapon System. Sir, the department reported the situation almost at the same time. What? The person in charge was extremely shocked. After a while, he asked, what's going on? Someone from the hacker department called and said, Sir, we may have been hacked? What? The person in charge was shocked to the extreme. Then he asked in disbelief, are you talking nonsense? What powerful technology do the hackers on Red Moon Island have? Can they hack into our weapons system? The other party said bitterly. Sir, it's not the weapon system that was hacked, it's the entire system that was hacked. Now all our equipment here is under the control of the other party. What? The person in charge was stunned with shock. Then he roared angrily, are you all trash? We spent so much money to train you. But you are not as good as a hacker from Red Moon Island? The other party was silent. I was very upset, thinking, does the strength of hacker skills have anything to do with where one was born? But I was also shocked that the other party possessed such terrifying hacking skills. Just at this moment, Hu Xin controlled the opponent's robot intelligent forces and surrounded all the opponent's personnel. In this base except for the main person in charge, all other soldiers are robots. Hu Xin shouted through the other party's communicator. We are a spaceship from the Red Moon Star continent. We landed here, do you have any objections? As Hu Xin shouted, the spacecraft had already landed. The person in charge took a deep breath and roared. Do you know what you are doing? By doing this, you are going against our true continent. After hearing this, Hu Xin was not surprised, but everyone else was very worried and scared. For them the true continent is mysterious and powerful, and must not be offended. Hu Xin said disapprovingly. Is the mainland really doing the right thing? You mean, the real continent is the size of a palm, and you have the final say? Even if you have the final say, so what? No matter where you are, fists have the final say. However Hu Xin, go, no matter what kind of forces you are. You must behave yourself, if you don't, I will destroy you. Although these words were simple, they made countless creatures feel a strong murderous intent. I couldn't help but feel terrified. The creatures on the transit island were especially terrified. I didn't expect that the spaceship coming from Red Moon Island this time would be so wild. At this time, another spaceship from the Red Moon Star continent also arrived. They flew obediently towards the backward, dirty landing point. Someone suddenly discovered something was wrong. Mr. Blackguard, look, that spaceship seems to be the one that Lord Black 96 and his men were riding on. It actually landed at the landing point of the true continent? It really is that spaceship. What is going on? All the creatures on this spaceship were extremely confused. Kuroji asked, should we fly over there? What are you flying over there for? Are you looking for death? Iji Ling shouted angrily. Then he said, no matter what their reason is for landing there, that is the territory of the true continent, they will definitely pay the price for breaking the rules. This price will surely lead to their destruction. As for Hu Xin, he had already taken the lead in getting off the spacecraft. A group of female protagonists including Deathly Haunted followed Hu Xin. The others stayed on the spaceship obediently. Came directly to the enemy commander's base camp. A group of high-level officials from the other side gathered together. They didn't care about being surrounded by robots. They looked coldly at Hu Xin and others who walked in. Human boy, I never thought there would be such an outstanding human like you on Red Moon Island. The leading officer asked inferently. Another old man said with a lecherous look. What I didn't expect is that there would be so many beautiful women among the people coming from Red Moon Island this time. Especially the Undead and the mermaid, they are just perfect. The evil eyes, as if they could see through clothes, stared at places that Jushengji and Xianxian you shouldn't have seen. With drooling eyes. Hu Xin uttered the word death inferently, just about to take action. An afterimage that only he could see clearly rushed out. The next moment, a head flew up. I got the afterimage and returned to the original place. Isn't it the Undead Jusheng who took action? The key point is that no one around her noticed that she moved. At that moment the head flew several meters high and blood splattered everywhere. Everyone then reacted. Both sides were shocked. The other party was even more terrified because they did not realize who the enemy was. The person in charge beside him caught his subordinate's head, pressed towards his neck. As a powerful genetic practitioner, his head was chopped off and quickly installed back. And his powerful genetic power was able to repair itself automatically. But pressing on the head didn't have any healing effect. And the blood just kept flowing. The guy's head was full of fear. And he finally reacted at this time and said in despair, "Sir, it's so strong, such a terrifying power, my genes have been destroyed by him. I'm dead." Yes. Hearing this, everyone else around took a deep breath of shock. Looking at the expressions of Hu Xin and the others, they could no longer remain calm and were extremely terrified. "Which of you did it?" The person in charge shouted angrily. Hu Xin said calmly, "This is what happens when you set your sights on my wife. And you, be careful when you speak." Chapter 500 Itexus, I haven't been the second one yet. As for the aura, he had a firm grasp on it. The people from the real continent looked unhappy, but they didn't dare to do anything. Hu Xin then asked, "I want to go to Death Island, who will be responsible for the arrangements?" "What Death Island? We haven't heard of it," the person in charge said stiffly. In an instant, Hu Xin appeared in front of him and grabbed his neck. The speed was so fast that no one had time to react. At this moment, they thought that their companion was killed by Hu Xin and were extremely terrified. The person in charge finally felt fear. "Sir, spare me. Our spaceships will arrive regularly. The nearest one will arrive tomorrow night." Boom. Hu Xin threw him out fiercely and said, "It would have been better if you did this earlier. Why did you force me to take action? By the way, are there any precautions when going to the island of the dead?" Hu Xin looked at the group of guys and asked. The guy in the front tremblingly took out a booklet from the nanospace and handed it to Hu Xin. Hu Xin took it and looked at it. For big words caught my eye. Slave rules. Quickly turned to the first page. According to detailed records, the people on Reed Moon Island in the past were all slaves. Divided into 5 levels: inferior slaves, ordinary slaves, middle slaves, superior slaves, and special slaves. In addition to this, another thing that caught Hu Xin's attention was currency. In the true continent, the lowest level currency is the Demon Crystal, and above that there are the Demon Crystal Marrow and the Demon Crystal King. The exchange rate is 1 to 10,000. The rest are the precautions that various slaves should know. After reading it, Hu Xin handed the manual to others. After watching it, everyone was extremely angry. They never expected that they were just slaves in the eyes of the people in the real continent. Or he found ways to become a slave and sent himself to his door. No wonder those who went to the true continent never returned. How could a slave who was bound by all kinds of constraints come back? "Husband, what should we do? Do we still have to go to the Zen continent?" Jia Yuan still asked. Hu Xin smiled and said, "Go. Of course I will go. However, the time is tomorrow night. It's only afternoon now. It's still early. Let us go to this transit island for a walk. By the way, send this manual to everyone. Go to the non-real continent and see everyone's opinions." After saying that, he left. It is determined that these people dare not act recklessly. After Hu Xin and the others left, everyone at the scene looked at the person in charge. "Sir, what should we do now?" This guy said inferently. "What else can we do? Just wait. The spaceship will arrive tomorrow. The strong men on it are not something these guys can deal with." Hu Xin took the lead and walked out of the landing point, which was an extremely prosperous city. The streets were crowded with people and very lively. And because of the limited land, the streets here are divided into 9 upper floors and 9 lower floors. In other words, there are 9 underground floors. Among them, the first layer, that is, the land layer, is the most prosperous and is where people of the highest status live. "Handsome man, you have so many beauties around you. What a taste, come and choose a few from us. They are no worse than the beauties around you." When passing by the entrance of a place full of lights and nights, a beautiful woman said to Hu Xin. Hu Xin looked over and saw that her clothes were vaguely visible, so he could see everything he shouldn't see. Looking inside, there are groups of beautiful women. It is simply a paradise for men. The undead Jusheng grabbed Hu Xin and ran away. After they walked away, he said dissatisfied, "Lie, do you really want to go to that kind of place? Don't you have any at home?" Pulling Hu Xin's ear, he looked back. There are dozens of beautiful women around him. Everyone who saw this scene covered their mouths and laughed, thinking that only Sister Jusheng could suppress her husband. Hu Xin said speechless, "Lie, wife, let go, I didn't go in. If I hadn't dragged you away, you would have gone in long ago. DSK, am I that kind of person? How could I possibly like those rouge and powder?" They wandered around all the time, and everyone was wary of Hu Xin. I'm afraid he'll have an affair. Come on, come on. There will be some good stuff at the auction soon, let's hurry up and grab a good spot. Yes, it is said that there will be something that is rarely seen tonight. When Huaxian heard the two people whispering, he immediately became interested. He said to the ladies, "Wives, let's go to the auction too." "Let's go." No one has any objection to this. Following the two of them, we soon arrived at the auction house. It is also on the first floor. It shows that this auction house is quite powerful. "Stop, you need to show your ID to enter the auction house." Huaxian took out the devil card and shook it, thinking that the other party would panic. But the staff said disapprovingly, "The auction house does not accept demon coins. The minimum amount required is 100 million demon crystals to enter." Huaxian had no choice but to turn on the balance projection. Many people around looked over curiously. The moment the projection appeared, everyone was shocked by the words demon crystal. It is mainly below the words demon crystal, but 360 and a series of people behind it. Many people took a long time to count clearly, and I was extremely shocked. Someone exclaimed, 3,600 trillion demon crystals. Huaxian asked the auction house staff, "Can we go in now?" The stunned staff member trembled, then reacted and said respectfully, "Sir, I'm sorry, I was rude just now, please follow me." He turned around and led the way with utmost respect. She walked away and someone immediately made up for it. The staff member took Huaxian and the others directly through the backstage passage and went to the box upstairs. "Who are they?" asked the person in charge of the box in a deep voice. The staff member said in a panic, "Sir, this person's account balance is apparently 360 trillion demon crystals." "What? Are you kidding me?" The first reaction of the person in the box was disbelief. The staff member quickly said, "Sir, it is absolutely true." The person in charge of the box asked Huaxian, "Can I check your balance?" Huaxian directly threw the devil card over, opening the permission for anyone to view it. After seeing it, the other party took a deep breath and was stunned. It took him a while to react, and he said respectfully to Huaxian, "Sir, please wait." He quickly took the devil card and walked into box No. 1. Get lost, is being rich such a big deal? I wasn't in this box at the last auction, and I won't be different this time. Huaxian and his friends heard angry roars coming from box No. Master Shui Bang, I can't do anything about it, this is the rule of the auction house. Whoever has more magic crystals will stay in box number 1. The person in charge of the box tried to explain. "I told you to get out, don't you understand what I'm saying? If you don't leave, I'll kill you." There was no choice but for the person in charge of the box to leave first. Coming in front of Huaxian and the others, he said in a negotiating tone, "Sir, the guest in box 1 is unwilling to vacate his seat. How about arranging you to box 2? Huaxian said coldly, "I haven't been the second one yet." After saying that, he walked towards box number 1. Chapter 587 Too weak. The person in charge of the box immediately followed behind him and did not stop him. If this kind of thing fails to be negotiated, either he notifies the higher-ups to handle it, or the guest handles it himself. How could a guest who could come up with 3.6 trillion be a simple person? Arriving at the door of box No. 1, Huaxian pushed the door but couldn't move it. A person in charge nearby said, "It must have been locked from the inside." Boom boom boom. Huaxian knocked on the door. Inside the box, a pale-faced, thin middle-aged man said to a young man, "Master, it seems the other party is not giving up yet." Snort. The young man snorted angrily and said disapprovingly, "So what if you don't give up? I won't give up this box today." Outside, I waited for a while, but there was no response. The person in charge of the box became nervous because he noticed that Huaxian's face looked strange. Huaxian raised his foot and kicked him hard. Boom! With a loud bang, a high-quality box door collapsed. This scene shocked many people. Everyone, whether in the box or inside it, was shocked, because they all knew that the quality of the box door was lower than the 70-level True God and could not be shaken at all. Because there is a formation on the door of the box, and in order to instantly destroy the formation and kick the door down, at least twice the amount is needed. Then the people who kicked open the door must be at least True God level 70. Inside the box, everyone's eyes were focused on the door. Huaxian walked in with a gloomy face. When they saw a human walked in, everyone in the box was stunned. The middle-aged man on the main seat said disapprovingly, "You are actually a human. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me?" Huaxian looked around and said disapprovingly, "The most powerful one is only at the 75th level of True God. There's not even one Super God level 1. When these words were spoken, the whole audience was shocked. He stared at Huaxian in disbelief, thinking, is it possible that the Super God level is just an ordinary commodity in front of you? How could he have known that Huaxian had met strong people along the way? and his opponents were almost all at the super god level. So that in his mind, people with a little status should have very powerful super god level people around them. Boy, you are so arrogant, as if you are a super god. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, I'm really not a super god. But I don't need to personally deal with trash like you. Wives, who of you is going to take this garbage out? I'll do it. The crazy leopard girl rushed out. Just like her name. She is a bloodthirsty mad leopard, a complete battle maniac. Get close to these guys instantly. He was too weak. He had no time to react in front of the third-level super god leopard crazy girl. Everyone, make way. After yelling loudly, she threw these guys out harshly. Boom boom boom. The force was so great that none of these people were spared and all were knocked unconscious. Such a scene shocked the people in the auction house. Huaxian said to the person in charge of the box, go find someone to fix the door. I don't want to be disturbed during the next auction. Yes. The guy left, trembling. Huaxian sat down in the main seat and the others gathered around him, looking at the huge screen in front. This screen projects the auction scene in 365 degrees without blind spots. There is a controllable teleport in front of you. Start bidding for any auction item you like. Apart from the disposal, the confidentiality measures here are very good and the people inside can do whatever they want. It wasn't long before the gate was repaired. After waiting for about a quarter of an hour, the auction finally began. The host is a very beautiful lady who is dressed sexy and very eye-catching. In addition to participating in the auction, through 365-degree viewing, Huaxian discovered that countless people came for this beautiful auctioneer. The host came to the middle of the auction table, and her looming figure drove countless men crazy. Huaxian's eyes lit up when he saw it. The beauty smiled and said, I don't know how many new guests there are, so I'd better introduce myself. The auction house's #1 auctioneer, Qianjuzu NY, is very happy to host this auction for you. I won't waste your time now. Please invite the first auction item to the stage. She was also a tall and very beautiful woman who walked up to the auction table carrying an exquisite tray covered with a red cloth. Everyone stared at the tray, curious about what was under the red cloth. Qianjuzu NY stretched out her slender hands, tore open the red cloth, and introduced, this first item is a strange stone that looks like a stir-fried fish. The material of the stone is special. We, the auctioneer, don't know what it is exactly, but we think it is very unusual, so we allowed it to be auctioned. The starting price is 1 million demon crystals, and each bid must not be less than 100,000 demon crystals. Everyone looked at this dried fish like rock and couldn't tell what it was, so no one made a bid. After a while, an old man said, I can't tell what a good thing it is. I'll buy it back and study it. It's worth 1.1 million demon crystals. I also want to buy it back to study it. I'll offer 1.2 million demon crystals. I'm also a little interested. I'll offer 1.5 million demon crystals. More and more people are bidding. The more mysterious something is, the more likely it is to be a treasure. Not bidding on it beforehand and deliberately devaluing it are just to confuse opponents. But no one expected that there would be so many bidders. The price soared and soon reached 5 million. The number of bidders gradually decreased. Qianjuzu NY waited for a while and asked, is there anyone else bidding? Still no one responded. Qianjuzu NY continued, 5 million once, 5 million twice. Just when the decision was about to be made. 10 million, I want it. Everyone's eyes were focused on box number 20. Unexpectedly, the first item, which was hard to tell what it was, actually attracted a bid from the big boss in the box. From this, everyone concluded that this strange rock that looked like fried salted fish was probably not simple. I'll give you 11 million. In the field, an old man in the front position raised a sign to bid. Being able to sit here, I think my status is definitely not much different from the big guy in the box at the end. 15 million. In box number 20, that faint voice sounded again. All eyes in the field were focused on the old man who had just made the bid. The old man hesitated for a while, but finally gave up. Qianjuzu NY looked around the room and asked, is there anyone else who wants to bid? After waiting for a while, no one responded. He announced loudly, 15 million once, 15 million twice, 15 million twice. Just when everyone thought that the item was finalized, a calm voice sounded, 100 million demon crystals. What? 100 million? Chapter 588, who is this person? Everyone was extremely shocked, and their eyes couldn't help but fall on box No. 1, including the people in the other 19 boxes. They were all looking at box No. 1. This voice doesn't seem to be the voice of Master Shui Bang. Could it be that the owner of box No. 1 has changed? Such doubtful voices were heard in every box. The people at the scene were also confused. Everyone is very curious, who replaced the person in box No. 1? Where did Master Shui Bang go? Was he in box 2? What was even more shocking was, What on earth was that stone that looked like a stir-fried fish? Why did the people in box 1 actually bid 100 million for it? Someone in the crowd was particularly excited, just because he was the one auctioning the strange stone with fried fish. I thought it would be great if it could sell for 10 million. But I didn't expect it to be over 100 million now. Qianzhu NY was shocked. I didn't expect the first item to exceed 100 million yuan. He looked at the whole audience and said, 100 million demon crystals. Is there anyone else who wants to bid? I'll give you 110 million. Everyone's eyes fell on box number 5. 200 million. Hu Xian raised the price without thinking. The whole audience stared at box no. 1 in shock, wondering who was inside. The markup is crazy too. The scene fell into silence for a moment. After waiting for a while, no one spoke. There was no movement in the other boxes. Qianzhu NY shouted loudly, 200 million once, 200 million twice, 2 times 3 times deal. Immediately, the etiquette lady quickly walked towards box no. 1 carrying the items. Qianzhu NY said excitedly, I am very surprised. I didn't expect that the first item sold today would be sold at a high price of 200 million. I believe the next auction will be even more exciting. Now, please welcome the second item to be auctioned. Another beautiful etiquette lady came on stage carrying a larger tray. Qianzhu NY lifted the red cloth, revealing a black sword. It looked ordinary, without any mighty power, causing everyone in the audience to frown. Qianzhu NY said at this time, I guess everyone is wondering what kind of sword this is. Let me tell you, this is a super artifact, that is, a spiritual artifact. Even if it is just a broken super divine weapon, it still possesses a sharpness and power that top divine weapons cannot possess. Next, please invite the meteorite from outer space to test the sharpness of the sword. An old man came up holding a 3-foot-long meteorite from outer space. After seeing the meteorite clearly, someone exclaimed, it is a high-concentration meteorite. Even the top artifacts cannot destroy this kind of meteorite. Only the top artifacts can leave a mark. It really is a high concentration of meteorites from outer space. I wonder if this broken super artifact can destroy it. If it can, it is really a treasure. The old man picked up a black sword and gently chopped down at the high concentration of meteorites from outer space. Everyone became nervous. Can it be split open with such force? Phew. It was as easy as cutting through mud, and it actually split this high concentration meteorite into 2 halves with ease. This scene shocked the entire audience, and everyone stared at the black sword in shock. Then, his gaze gradually became heated. More people stood up excitedly. Even some people in the boxes stood up. Quick, give a low price. Someone couldn't wait to speak to Qianzhu NY. Qianzhu NY nodded and said, the starting price for the broken super god level item is 100 million demon crystals. And each bid increase must not be less than 10 million demon crystals. I'll give you 110 million. This is a super divine grade. Even if it is broken, it is still a super divine weapon. I will pay 200 million. I'll give you 300 million. I'll give you 400 million. The scene was filled with crazy killing. In box number 1, the etiquette lady excitedly brought over the strange stone of stir-fried fish. Boom boom boom. He knocked on the door excitedly. She took this opportunity to disguise herself and bring out her beauty to the limit, hoping that the adults in the box would like her. Once that happens, it will be like soaring to heaven for her. After all, whoever can be in box no. 1 is not a simple person. Come in. The door of the box opened only after the person in it spoke. The etiquette lady walked in excitedly. I was stunned when I saw a large group of beautiful women. Hu Xian stared at him and asked, has my auction item arrived? The etiquette lady finally reacted and said with some inferiority, yes sir. He quickly walked in front of Hu Xian and never dared to have any improper thoughts again, because he found that the worst woman around this adult was prettier than himself. Hu Xian looked at her and nodded secretly in his heart. Not bad, comparable to the third-grade beauty of Paradise Island. And I thought of the group of wives around me and regretted not getting rid of them. Otherwise, this etiquette beauty can also be won. Pick up the strange stone with fried fish. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the corpse of the case fish, which can be exchanged for 15 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Before Hu Xian could watch it carefully, the system voice rang out. I never thought that this dried and fried fish was actually the corpse of a chaos fish. 200 million demon crystals were actually worth 15 lottery opportunity fragments. It was a huge profit. The system gave me the chance to redeem the lucky draw fragments. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have successfully consumed the chaos fish corpse in exchange for 15 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Only then did he pay 200 million demon crystals to the etiquette lady. After receiving the auction money, the etiquette lady still plucked up the courage to ask, Sir, Do you have any other instructions? Thinking of giving it a try. After asking, some fear and resentment still looked at them, lowered their heads and were extremely nervous. Huaxian smiled and said, "Not yet." Oh, the etiquette lady left with some disappointment. Ji Yuan still smiled and said, "Hubby, I'm very disappointed. Won't you go and comfort me?" Huaxian smiled and asked, "Do you agree that I should go and comfort her?" Everyone rolled their eyes. "I'll offer 10 billion demon crystals." A huge voice came from box number 3, shocking the entire audience. Then the voice continued. "I, Hu Hunzi, have taken a fancy to this sharp sword. I hope everyone will give it to me." It turns out to be Hu Hunzi, the heir of the Hu Han clan. It is said that this person is even more vicious than Master Shui Bang. He must not be offended. That's right, last time, a big clan offended one of Hu Hunzi's servants. It was said that Hu Hunzi led the strong men to destroy the big clan. There was a lot of discussion at the scene, although it was all very quiet and no one else could hear it. However, Huaxian was at the terrifying realm of level 99 of Super God. And his combat power was terrifyingly strong, so he heard everything clearly. He was not interested in this broken super artifact. As long as he had the materials, he could easily refine this kind of weapon. I'm just not happy about Hu Hunzi's outstanding performance. When everyone thought the decision had been made, Huaxian said calmly, 100 billion. Yes. Everyone in the audience took a deep breath. And I was shocked. Is it the box number 1 again? Who is that person? Chapter 589, the same as Charity. Sir, I don't know who you are. Have you ever heard of me? Tiger Soul? Hu Hunzi looked gloomy and asked in a cold tone. I don't care what kind of trash you are if you have money. But if you don't have money, get out. The whole audience was shocked. The people in box number 1 are really crazy. Who on earth has the guts to look down on Tiger Soul? Even Master Shui Bang wouldn't dare to ignore it like this. Right? Hu Hunzi's face was extremely gloomy, and murderous intent burst out from it. The murderous aura penetrated directly into box No. 3 and enveloped the entire place, making everyone know that Hu Hunzi was really angry. Eonjuzu and why I didn't care about that and asked loudly. Are there any more bids? 101 billion. Hu Hunzi shouted with gritted teeth. The sword that could have been bought for 10 billion now has to cost more than 90 billion. He swore that he would make the people in box number 1 regret it. What really? Yes. The whole audience took a deep breath and was stunned. So quiet you can hear a pin drop. The shock in my heart cannot be described in words. Others add 100 million, and you directly add 900 billion? Eonjuzu Ny was extremely shocked. She had hosted countless auctions. But this was the first time she encountered such a situation. What really in demon crystals, enough to buy a brand new super artifact? After being shocked, Hu Hunzi became extremely angry and roared. What really in demon crystals, can you afford it? Everyone in the audience had the same doubts. Huaxian said calmly, you don't have to worry about that. If you can afford it, then offer it. If you can't, then get out. You. What do you mean by you? Who do you think you are? My beautiful auctioneer darling, stop being in a daze and make your announcement quickly. Eonjuzu Ny finally reacted. She didn't care what Huaxian called her. She took a deep breath and said, "Want really and once? Want really and twice? Want really and 3 times deal?" The etiquette lady almost ran towards Huaxian's box number 1. Just because this sword is too valuable. Everyone in the audience was curious whether Huaxian could afford Want really in demon crystals. There was no rush to auction the next item. Everyone waited patiently. After a while, the etiquette lady came to Huaxian. Sir, please pay Want really in demon crystals for the treasure you are auctioning. Huaxian didn't even take the sword. He first blocked the opponent's demon card and transferred the money directly. Congratulations to the VIP guest in box No. 1, who paid Want really in demon crystals to buy his favorite treasure. Broadcast throughout the venue. Only after a trillion-level transaction is successful will it be broadcasted to the entire venue. After paying the money, Huaxian picked up the sword that looked full of cracks. Ding! The broken Imperial weapon can be exchanged for 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. Exchange it for me. Huaxian said with great joy. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have used up the broken Imperial weapon to exchange for 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments. The entire auction hall was still in a state of shock. Huaxian said calmly, my dear Eonjuzu Ny, let's start the auction later. Eonjuzu Ny was also extremely curious about the owner of box No. 1, and thought that after the auction was over, she must go and see who that person was. Then he said, now, let's invite you to the 3rd auction item. The etiquette lady came on stage carrying the 3rd auction item. The top executives of the auction house were stunned. These were just 2 items, and in their eyes, they were both ordinary items. But one was sold at a high price of 200 million, and the other was sold at a sky price of 1 trillion. They are all VIPs in box no. 1. The key is that the other party has paid for the transaction. President, the people below report that the VIP in box 1 is a human with a group of beauties. This human race is very powerful. When Master Shui Bang refused to let him leave the room, he violently kicked the door and broke it. A woman beside him took action and threw Master Shui Bang and the expert beside him silently, knocking them unconscious. From what I can judge, this human race is probably not from the Red Moon Star continent, but from the True Continent. The president of the upper seat frowned and said, "Hasn't the spaceship from the True Continent arrived yet? Is it possible that they came to the transit island through other channels? After all, the people of the True Continent are powerful and mysterious." The president took a deep breath and said, "No matter where he is from, as long as he pays for the demon crystal, we have nothing to do with the rest. Notify everyone that our auction house must not offend this human race." Yes. At the auction, the third item was a transparent jade stone in the shape of a full moon. According to Qian Juzu and Yi's introduction, this item can nourish the soul and is a treasure. The starting price is 500 million, and each bid increase must not be less than 50 million. The bidding has gone crazy. It's just because there are so few treasures in the Soul series. Therefore, every piece, even the most ordinary one, is priceless. It broke 10 billion in a short while. The people in the field are bidding frantically. "I'll offer 20 billion. Box no. 9 finally made the move. It was actually a woman's voice, but many people couldn't tell which family the girl came from. "I'll offer 50 billion. The person in box number 5 also spoke. It was also a woman's voice. 100 billion. Box no. 9 raised the price without hesitation. 150 billion. Box no. 5 was also not tolerant at all. The whole audience was shocked. They didn't expect that both sides would raise the price by 50 billion by 500 billion. It was really scary. "Tianzi Yuhongxi, are you determined to go against my centipede clan?" The beauty in box number 9 asked loudly and angrily. "So they are the millipedes and centipodes now. We are going to have something interesting to watch." Everyone at the scene knew who were in the 2 large boxes. Some people were also wondering. This auction was said to be a rare one in a century, but Master Shui Bang didn't seem to be here. There is no reason for the water clam tribe not to participate, right? Didn't you see that there were many wealthy people who usually don't go out? Even the big families who were previously in the boxes were squeezed out of the boxes and came to the hall. Ianzi Yuhongxi said disaffably, "This is an auction house. The demon crystal has the final say here. If you are capable, then make your bid." Centipede's Snowy Night was silent. She had other items to buy and couldn't waste the demon crystal on the soul jade plate, so she could only swallow her anger. Tianjuzu NY asked at this time, "Is there anyone else bidding?" His eyes subconsciously focused on box number 1. Many people in the audience looked at him in the same way. What really in demon crystals? Huaxian did not disappoint them. "Another trillion demon crystals. Who is this person in box now?" 1. Qianzi Yuhongxi said in a sweet voice, "Since our friend in box 1 has taken a fancy to this soul jade plate, just take it." Huaxian said coldly, "What do you mean by that? Why do I feel like this soul jade plate is something you gave me as a gift?" Chapter 590, by the whole place. Everyone in the audience could hear that the people in box 1 were unhappy. Ianzi Yuhongxi remained silent and did not explain. He said disaffably in his heart, "So what if I'm in box no. 1? Having a demon crystal doesn't mean you're strong." Tianjuzu NY said quickly, 1 rillion once, 1 rillion once, 1 rillion twice, 1 rillion 3 times, deal. The etiquette lady ran towards Huaxian's box carrying the brocade box. Tianjuzu NY hurriedly said, "Please give us the 4th item." A beautiful etiquette lady came on stage pushing an object. Huaxian said directly, 10 trillion, I'll buy this item." "What?" The whole audience was stunned. Without even looking at the item and having no idea what it is, how could it be worth 10 trillion? No, could it be that the other party knew the items being auctioned at the auction house and that's why he made a direct bid? But this is only the 4th item? It can't be worth 10 trillion, right? Qianjuzu NY smiled bitterly and said, "Sir, in box no. 1, you haven't even looked at the item yet. Are you sure you want to buy it with 10 trillion demon crystals?" He deliberately mentioned the words, demon crystal, to remind Huaxian that the 10 trillion were demon crystals, not demon coins. Huaxian said in a nonchalant tone, "I bought it." The etiquette lady was preparing to push the items to box number 1. Someone said, "We have the right to see what this 4th item is." "That's right, Don T. We even have the right to see the 4th item? Could it be that there is something fishy about this auction? Or does the people in box 1 know what items are being auctioned?" Qianjuzu NY was too lazy to explain and just walked over and lifted the red cloth. It turned out to be a bow, but it didn't come with any arrows. Qianjuzu NY said, "The demon bow is a divine artifact of the 55th grade. It is said to be used by powerful demons. It can be activated by injecting genetic power. Normal gene stimulation can only exert 15 of its power, while demonic power stimulation can unleash 200 of its power. Of course, the higher the level of demonic power, the greater the power of the demon bow. Ding, congratulations to Box No. 1 for spending 1 million demon crystals to buy the treasure of his dreams. Oxian had finished paying the bill and picked up the Soul J plate. This time the system did not respond. It seems to be just a treasure for ordinary workers. Oxian casually handed it to the evil spirit Yizu and said, "This is for you." "Thank you, husband," the evil spirit Yizu said happily after receiving the gift. "It would be awkward to say thank you." "And what should people say?" asked the evil spirit Yizu in a delicate voice. Ji-Yuan still felt his scalp tingling after hearing this. In her mind, this former mother was majestic and cold, but now she has become like this. "Say, I love my husband." Oxian reached out and held her in his arms, caressing her and speaking, "I love you, husband," the evil spirit Yizu shouted in a more charming voice. After hearing this, Oxian wished he could execute her on the spot. At the auction. Qianju Zuanwei said loudly, 1 million. Is there anyone who can offer a higher price? If not, then send this treasure to Box No. 1. The whole audience was silent. Everyone was very dissatisfied, thinking that Private Room No. 1 was too overbearing. "I'll offer 101 billion. Box No. 2 spoke. 10 trillion. Oxian spoke directly. Yes. The whole audience took a deep breath again. Box No. 2 fell silent. How can we have fun if they raise the price like this? Too arrogant. Oxian looked at the time for the consumption task and found that there were only 5 minutes left. So he said, "My precious Qianju and why? I don't care how many auction items there are in the auction house or how precious they are. I will bid 360 trillion demon crystals to buy all the auction items." What? The whole audience was stunned. In the auction house's high-level monitoring center, all the senior executives stood up suddenly. 3,600 trillion demon crystals. Such a sky price is enough to buy out 10,000 of their auction houses. Someone immediately said, "President, quickly ask Qianju and why to agree to him." The president finally reacted and immediately informed Qianju and why. Qianju and why agreed to his request and took him forget it. "Let's go meet him." A micro-communication in Qianju and Y's ear was flashing with an imperceptible signal source, and she only reacted after hearing this. Looking at Box No. 1, he said, "Our president has agreed to your purchase request and is on his way to see you. Please wait." Oxian said, "Qianju and Yi baby, come and see me too." Qianju and Y's body trembled, and she said excitedly, "Okay, Zuan Y, I will be here right away." Then he looked at the whole audience and said, "Today's auction is booked out, everyone please leave." How could this be possible? We used our time to buy treasures to attend the auction, but we didn't buy anything. How could your auction house hold an auction like this? That's right, the auction house has gone too far this time. How can you sell them in packages like this? More and more people are becoming dissatisfied. Qianju and Y said inferently, 360 trillion demon crystals. Do you know what this means? If it is evenly distributed among the 100th auction item today, each item is worth 31 trillion demon crystals. The whole audience finally reacted. This is no longer an exorbitant price. Tiger Soul and Box 3 asked, "Can the other party really pay 3.6 trillion demon crystals?" "Yes, can he really pay it?" The whole audience asked in unison. Qianju and Y said, "Our president should have arrived at Box 1. There will be a notification soon." In Box number 1, a white-haired old man, with a group of people, came to Oxian with great excitement. Ignoring the beautiful woman beside Oxian, they all looked at Oxian curiously. Oxian spoke first. "Give me the devil card." The president trembled and quickly took out the devil card and handed it over. "My hands are shaking. After all, that's 3.6 trillion demon crystals." Oxian transferred the money immediately. "Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 3.6 trillion demon crystals in 2.5 million minutes, and received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical strike 5 times and consume 18 trillion demon crystals within 300 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be rewarded. Ding, congratulations to the master in Box No. 1, who paid 360 trillion demon crystals to buy a total of 165 auction items at the auction house. Ding, congratulations. The announcement of the auction was heard throughout the venue. And this was announced 9 times in a row, shocking the entire auction hall. Countless people couldn't recover for a long time. In box number 1. Huaxian asked the stunned president. Where are my auction items? The president's body trembled. And then he realized that as for the notification, it was all completed intelligently. The president took out a large nano-space device and handed it to Huaxian respectfully, saying, Sir, the items you purchased are all inside. Chapter 591, Intermediate Fragment. Huaxian took the nano-space device with some excitement. He couldn't wait to ask, System, scan it for me. How many lucky draw chance fragments can be exchanged for the treasures here? Exchange them all for me. I thought that among the 165 pieces, there must be hundreds or thousands of good things. After all, these are items being auctioned by an auction house, so they can't be to rubbish. I thought it would be nice even if I could exchange it for 1,000 lottery chance fragments. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have successfully exchanged 581 lucky draw opportunity fragments, using 365 items. Huaxian was stunned. This is much worse than the expected 1,000 lottery chance fragments. That is to say, out of the 1865 items, 1,500 are very ordinary. Fortunately, 3 of the items were extraordinary. One of them was directly exchanged for 85 lottery opportunity fragments, which was terrifying. And that was just an egg identified as a midnight egg. No one knew what kind of egg it was so terrifying that all explanations were question marks. At this time, Qianzhu Nyi trotted in. The stunning temperament and appearance at such a close distance stunned Huaxian instantly. Seeing this, the president smiled and said, Sir, we won't disturb you. We will leave first, just let me know if you need anything. He tactfully left with a group of auction house executives. When leaving, he gave Qianzhu Nyi an encouraging look. Qianzhu Nyi stood in the distance, looking at Huaxian. Not knowing where to put her hands, she was too nervous. Although she is a great beauty, she was born into an ordinary family and is just an auctioneer in an auction house. There is nothing special about her. The powerful bosses don't like her. And she doesn't like the ones who like her, so she has always been single. Now, Huaxian, this wealthy man, makes her extremely excited. But she is worried that her status is too low and he will dislike her. Huaxian smiled and said, Don't be nervous, I won't eat you. Come here. Qianzhu Nyi then came over. The evil spirit Yizu took the initiative to stand up and said, Let's go, sisters, our husbands are busy with important things. So let's go outside and wait. Although they were very reluctant, everyone walked out of the room and closed the door. Suddenly, Huaxian and Qianzhu Nyi were the only ones left in the room. Without outsiders, Qianzhu Nyi finally calmed down. Sir, do you have anything to tell Zhu Nyi? Huaxian pretended to be dissatisfied and said, Why are you so far away from me? Are you really afraid that I will eat you? Qianzhu Nyi cried out in surprise. Looking at the distance between myself and the other person, my feet were almost touching each other and it was impossible to move. Could it be that? Qianzhu Nyi suddenly thought of something and her face instantly turned red. She took a deep breath, mustered up her courage, and gently sat in Huaxian's arms. At this moment, my heart beat faster and I was extremely nervous. But Huaxian couldn't wait any longer, so he hugged her in his arms and bit her hard without caring whether she agreed or not. Qianzhu Nyi's body trembled violently, and she was extremely nervous. But her tongue had been trained thousands of times. And she responded to Huaxian very enthusiastically. This made Huaxian doubt whether Qianzhu Nyi was still a virgin. But the rich scent of chrysanthemums is really intoxicating. At this moment, Qianzhu Nyi's clothes turned into chrysanthemum petals that fell one after another, making box no. 1 extremely romantic. A body that was so perfect that it could not be described in words appeared in front of Huaxian. In such an atmosphere, Huaxian's breathing became more and more rapid, and his reaction became extremely strong. My eyes couldn't help but look towards the forbidden area. The flawlessness made him go crazy instantly. The fierce explosion broke through a layer of primitive barriers. Accompanied by Qianzhu Nyi's scream, the official battle broke out. A total of 5 things were accomplished. Qianzhu Nyi collapsed in Huaxian's arms, her flushed face full of happiness. A look of worry appeared on his face. Huaxian asked distressed Lai, Why is she like this? Is it because my husband is too rude? No, sir, you are very gentle and powerful. Zhu Nyi likes it very much. Holy? Just what? It's just that Zhu Nyi was born ordinary, and evolved from an ordinary 1,000 chrysanthemum. She is a common commodity in everyone's eyes, even if she is lucky enough to have a good appearance. She is still looked down upon. I am worried that the adults will dislike Zhu Nyi. Nonsense, how could your husband dislike you? Your husband loves you so much that it's not enough. Your husband promises you that no matter when or where, he will never dislike you. Sir, is it true? Still calling me sir? Qianzhu Nyi shouted with great cultivation, Husband. That's right, from now on, you will be my husband's good baby. Give me your devil card. Qianzhu and why I didn't think of going against Hu Xian's words and took out the devil card. Hu Xian took the devil card and transferred the money directly. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 18 trillion Relian crystals within 300 minutes and received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 360 minutes and consume 36 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be killed if the mission is completed. 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be rewarded. Ding, it is detected that the host has 615 lottery chance fragments. Every 10 lottery chance fragments can be fused into 1 intermediate lottery chance fragment. After collecting 10 intermediate lottery chance fragments, 1 intermediate lottery card can be fused. Intermediate draw card? System, what's so special about this intermediate lottery card? Ding, you can make a wish for the intermediate lottery card to draw the Super God level barrier breaking pill and other intermediate items. Using the Super God level barrier breaking pill can break through to the God King realm. After reading the explanation, Hu Xian was speechless. I thought I was going to be rich since I had won more than 600 chances to draw the lottery. I didn't expect that I could only exchange for 60 intermediate lottery fragments, which means I could only exchange for 6 intermediate exchange cards. I didn't exchange it for the time being and I'm not in a hurry to use it. Huayanzhu Zuan was stunned with shock when she received a transfer of 18 trillion. It took her a long time to react, and she asked in horror. Husband, what do you mean by transferring so many demon crystals to me? Could it be that you? Hu Xian interrupted. Don't let your imagination run wild. This is just the betrothal gift your husband is giving you. Qianzhu Zuan was extremely shocked. Right price? It turned out to be a terrifying 18 trillion demon crystals. What kind of horrible man have I found? Why, you don't like it? Hu Xian asked. No, Zuan thanks husband. I hate it most when my wife says thank you to me. Remember, don't do that again. Put on your clothes and let's go out. I saw the chrysanthemum petals on the ground flying up, swirling around Qianzhu Zuan and then approaching her body. After a while, it turned into a long skirt made of chrysanthemum petals. Chapter 592, Come to the door. Hu Xian took Qianzhu Zuan out of the box. Ji Yuan and the others were still waiting at the door, looking over in unison. Seeing Qianzhu Zuan walking strangely, they all glared at Hu Xian fiercely. I thought to myself, this guy's philandering and lustful habits can't be changed. Qianzhu Zuan blushed and felt shy when facing everyone's stares. That damned human race, get out here and die. An angry roar came from outside the auction house. At this time, the president of the auction house came trotting over. Seeing Hu Xian from a distance, he smiled and said respectfully, Sir, Master Shui Bang of the Shui Bang tribe has arrived with a group of experts. Do you need our help to solve the problem? Hu Xian shook his head and said, No, the joy of life is watching those reptiles struggle, otherwise it would be too boring. Having said that, he took the lead and walked out of the auction house. After walking a few steps, he remembered something, turned around and looked at the president and said, Qianzhu Zuan is my wife now. I take her away. Will the president have any objection? Sir, why would I have any objection? As long as Qianzhu Zuan is willing, she can go with you at any time. Hu Xian nodded and took Qianzhu Zuan away. Qianzhu Zuan was also happier than ever before. Soon, they arrived at the door of the auction house. I saw that Master Shui Bang had blocked the gate with a group of people. Seeing Hu Xian coming out, Master Shui Bang exploded instantly. You bastard, you really dare to come out, that's great. Destroy his cultivation for me. He yelled viciously at his subordinates. Only then did he notice Qianzhu Zuan, and his expression changed drastically when he saw her and Hu Xian being so close. He roared in extreme anger, Qianzhu Xuan, you bitch. I have been pursuing you for 5 years, but you were not moved. Now you let this human hold your hand, you. Qianzhu Zuan interrupted coldly. Shut up, to tell you the truth, I am already my husband's woman. Husband? You actually called him hubby, you bitch. I will make you live in a nightmare. What are you standing there for? Destroy him for me now, he roared at his men who did not move. Sir, he is at the auction house. The rules of the auction house. What's wrong with the rules of the auction house? Are we the Great Water Clan afraid of his auction house? The president at the side said coldly, Mr. Shui Bang. Please be careful with your words. You don't have such an important status in the Shui Bang tribe. If something really happens, the Shui Bang tribe will probably not fight for you and me. Master Shui Bang's expression became even uglier than before. He didn't expect that the auction house would also stand on the side of this lowly human. He took several deep breaths to suppress his extreme anger and said to Hu Xian, You lowly human, Get out of the auction house if you have the guts. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, "You are so powerful. Why don't you dare to touch me at the auction? Not convinced? Come on, come in and see if I dare to kill you." Master Shui Bang was so angry that he was about to die. He had been beaten up by Huaxian at the auction before, so he didn't dare to go in. They were even afraid that he might suddenly attack and hurt someone. So they stepped back a little. Then he said angrily, "You bastard, I don't believe you can hide in the auction house for the rest of your life." As soon as he finished speaking, Huaxian pulled Qian Juzu and Wei out. Several figures rushed towards Huaxian. Izu, the evil spirit closest to him, took direct action. After a few bangs, all the masters brought by Master Shui Bang were knocked away. Boom boom boom. They all fell to the ground and fainted. Master Shui Bang stood alone on the empty street, shocked to the extreme. The crowd in the distance who were pointing and talking were also stunned. They were originally discussing that anyone who offended Master Shui Bang would surely die. I didn't expect reality to reverse so quickly. Huaxian walked towards Master Shui Bang step by step. Seeing this, Master Shui Bang finally reacted, looked terrified, and turned around and ran away. "Can you run away?" Huaxian's cold voice came. Master Shui Bang took out a bunch of pills and swallowed them. Suddenly his speed increased drastically and he ran for his life using all his might. Huaxian did not chase him quickly, but left a soul mark on him, and followed slowly behind him with a large group of beauties. Along the way, I curiously admired the scenery on both sides of the street. The group of beautiful women are very eye-catching and are watched by crowds wherever they go. Looking at Huaxian, who stood out among the flowers, the passers-by were extremely envious. Young Master Shui Bang trotted back to the Shui Bang tribe, his face pale and bloodless. As they rushed through the gate, they shouted excitedly, "Help, help, someone wants to kill me." In the meeting room of the Water Clam tribe, a group of senior officials are discussing matters. Disturbed by the voice of Master Shui Bang, the clan leader who was sitting on the throne frowned. An elder said in unison, leaving with a gloomy face. Soon he met Master Shui Bang, seeing that he looked pale and didn't seem to be joking. He asked in a deep voice, "Who wants to kill you?" "Human race. A human race wants to kill me," Prince Shui Bang said in fear. "Human race? Could it be that they are the humans who came from the real continent?" The elder asked in a deep voice. I don't know. It's just that he is surrounded by a group of beautiful women, each one more powerful than the other," Master Shui Bang said in fear. "A beautiful lady?" Just as he was muttering, the guard came running over in a panic and saw him excitedly reporting, "Ninth Elder, a human man has arrived with a group of beauties from various races. They look like they are here to offer their beauties." "I thought the other party was here to offer beautiful women to the Water Clam tribe," young Master Shui Bang on the side said in panic. "Ninth Elder. It's them. I never thought they would dare to come to my door." The ninth elder had a gloomy face, said nothing, and strode towards the gate. Very angry. The Water Clam tribe has a very high status on the transit island. To him, being treated like this by others means that they are not taken seriously. I want to see how powerful the other party is. Soon we arrived at the gate. Huaxian led everyone, step by step, and was about to enter the gate of the Water Clam tribe. Several security guards stepped back and did not dare to act recklessly. One of them shouted, "Stop, since you are here to show your beauty. We have someone to notify the higher-ups, just stand here and wait." I thought Huaxian was here to offer beauties. At this time, a ninth elder came out. At first glance, he saw a large group of beauties from all ethnic groups, each with a perfect figure, charming temperament, and beautiful looks, which made his heart beat faster even though he was old. Finally he focused his gaze on Huaxian and asked in a deep voice, "Boy, if you are here to show your beauty, I welcome you very much. If you are here to cause trouble, don't blame me for being rude." In the distance, more and more people gathered around, and they all thought that Huaxian was there to show off his beauty. Countless onlookers were drooling at the sight of Ziyuan and her charming and perfect figures. Chapter 593, The Rage is Hard to Calm Down. "Jian Mei? And I want to see how many women in your Water Clam tribe can catch my eye," Huaxian said inferently and walked towards the Water Clam tribe. Court death. The ninth elder was so confident of his powerful cultivation level of the 10th level of Super God that he did not take Huaxian and the others seriously at all. It's just because those he can see through are all at the true God level. And those he can't see through, he believes that they have treasures that hide their cultivation. Take the initiative and try to win over Huaxian, and then enjoy these beauties. Just as he was approaching Huaxian, seeing that Huaxian didn't take any action, the evil spirit Yizu disappeared instantly. The speed was so fast that no one at the scene could see it clearly. The next moment, a loud bang was heard by countless people present. Boom! An even more terrifying scene appeared. With an explosion, A cloud of blood mist gradually fell. Everyone then reacted and noticed that the ninth elder of the Water Clan was gone. Looking at the blood mist that was gradually dissipating, everyone came up with a horrifying answer. Could it be that the blood mist was the ninth elder of the Water Clan? His eyes fell on Huaxian and the others in shock. After the evil spirit Yizu did all this, she returned to the side so quickly that no one saw her move. Huaxian took the lead and continued to walk into the Water Clan tribe. The guard was so frightened that he stood still without any reaction. Only then did Master Shui Bang Rikhtha was terrified to the extreme and turned around to run for his life. Only then did I realize how terrifying the person I had offended was. The ninth elder who was at the 10th level of True God was gone just like that. Such a huge noise was heard in the meeting room of the Water Clan. The discussion was interrupted again, and this time, everyone became serious. An elder said, "Chief, I have a bad feeling." Before he could finish his words, the terrified roar of the fleeing Water Clan master came. "Oh no, the ninth elder is dead, the ninth elder is dead." What? The senior executives in the conference room were all stunned. The patriarch disappeared from his position in an instant. When he appeared again, he was already in front of Master Shui Bang and asked in a deep voice, "What happened?" Seeing that it was his father, Master Bang breathed a sigh of relief. As the second strongest man in the family, he was a terrifying super god level 20 existence. On the transit island, everyone who came out of the real continent was at the top level. "Father, they want to kill me. They have already killed the ninth elder." Pointing at Huaxian and the others who were slowly walking towards him in the distance. The voice was trembling, and he was terrified to the extreme. Seeing Huaxian and the others getting closer, he was so scared that he quickly hid behind the clan leader. The clan leader's expression was as dark as ink as he looked at each of Huaxian and the others. I found that I couldn't see through many people's true colors. Coupled with the death of the ninth elder, it seemed that the other party was not simple. "Who are you? Why did you kill the ninth elder of my clan?" Huaxian sneered and said, "You'll have to ask the guy behind you." The patriarch realized that it was his useless son who had caused trouble. He looked at him fiercely and asked in a deep voice, "What's going on?" Young Master Shui Bang's body trembled violently. And he said in horror, "Father, I just didn't give them box no. One of the auction house, and they knocked me out and threw me out. I asked someone to ask them to apologize, but not only did they not apologize, they also killed everyone I brought with me. Just now. Even the ninth elder was killed by them." He tried to use the death of the ninth elder to attract his father's hatred. The clan leader looked at him coldly and asked, "Why don't you give up the auction house's box?" Of course he knew the rules of the auction house. Whoever was stronger would stay in the best box. The auction house must have their reasons for making such arrangements. But his foolish son not only refused to let him out, but also got into a conflict with the other party. "I know my own race well. And I'm afraid things are not as simple as my son said." He looked at Huaxian and the others and said, "I, Shui Bang Zongqian, apologize to you for not letting you use the box as my son did. But since you came here to kill our 9 elders, you still have to give an explanation, right?" Huaxian said coldly with murderous intent. "You want an explanation? Then I can just wipe out the entire Water Clan tribe." Yes. When the members of the Water Clan tribe who had come over behind him heard this, they were so scared that they took a deep breath. "You arrogant boy! I want to see how capable you are." An old man from the Water Clan shouted angrily and attacked. The clan leader quickly stopped him and said, "Third elder, don't be impulsive." Boom! The space trembled, and the third elder of the Water Clan punched Huaxian with a heavy punch. A layer of sharp barbs appeared on the fist, and there was a flash of green light on it, which was obviously poisonous. If you really get hit, the consequences will be terrible. The evil spirit Yizu is about to take action. Huaxian grabbed her wrist, gently pulled her into his arms, and kissed her on the pretty face. This made the evil spirit, Yizu, blush slightly. Huaxian stretched out his other hand, and easily grabbed the third elder's wrist. Use a little force and folded gently. Click. He actually broke the third elder's fist. Then he used his fists to strike out with lightning speed. Bang! The third elder's own fist smashed into his own head. The poison exploded with such force that in the blink of an eye, the third elder's body turned dark blue. Tap tap tap. His body retreated backwards repeatedly, and the floor shattered with every step he took. He was hit on the head and poisoned, leaving him no chance to recover. The energy that had nowhere to vent was released through his feet onto the ground, causing such a shocking effect. Such a scene frightened Master Shui Bang so much that he became extremely desperate. Unexpectedly, the 9th elder was killed instantly for no apparent reason, and the 3rd elder was also crushed. The other party is simply terrifying. The other members of the Water Clan also looked terrified, and their feelings were indescribable. Huaxian sneered. You dare to take action and want to bully others. It seems that your water clam tribe has no need to exist. Upon hearing this, the entire water clam tribe was terrified. I could sense a strong murderous intent from Huaxian's tone. Huaxian walked towards them step by step. It was an ordinary step, and it gave them tremendous pressure. At this time, a beautiful older girl came out. She discovered one thing. This guy was surrounded by beautiful women, and the way they looked at him, it seemed that they were all his women. This guy's weakness is lust. It's easy to deal with if you're lustful. Walk in front of Huaxian. This scene made the other members of the water clam tribe break out in a cold sweat for her. I was really worried that Huaxian would punch her to death. Huaxian looked at her coldly. The older girl smiled, revealing her most charming side, and said, "Handsome boy, you don't have any deep hatred towards us water clams. Now that you have killed 2 of our elders, it's time to calm down." Huaxian smiled coldly and said, "My anger is not so easy to calm down." The older girl faced the charming smile and took another small step forward. She and Huaxian were almost hugging each other before she whispered, "Then I will help you cool down, okay?" Chapter 594. Uncle? Huaxian frowned. The other party went even further. He reached out, grabbed Huaxian's hand, and put it where it shouldn't have been. The soft feeling made Huaxian understand what she meant. Looking him up and down, although he is quite old, he has a good figure. And they have brought it to my doorstep. As a man, how can I refuse? Huaxian suddenly picked her up and said, "Take me to your room." Seeing this, the water clam tribe breathed a sigh of relief and quickly made way. The older girl also breathed a sigh of relief, pointed in a direction and said, "Go that way." Huaxian disappeared from everyone's sight in an instant. The evil spirit Yizu and the others were left looking at each other, and finally were speechless. "Everyone, please move over here to rest and wait," the patriarch said with a smile. The evil spirit Yizu and the others did not say anything polite and followed them away. Huaxian carried the older girl and quickly came to her room. Huaxian didn't like the simple and rustic dress. Click. The subtle sound caught Huaxian's attention. It turned out that it was an older girl who unbuttoned her clothes. A white picture was revealed. The influence of the environment on Huaxian disappeared instantly. So there was no time for him to be polite. Bit it hard. The older girls also cooperated very crazily. After a while, the two were naked, and with a loud shout, they started a fierce battle. To Huaxian's regret, the other party was not a virgin. But since we have already made the move, there is no reason to just leave with disdain. 3 hours later, the older girl lay on Huaxian's chest and said in a delicate voice, "Sir, will you be responsible for Bing Lan?" Huaxian's hands were still dishonestly pinching things that he shouldn't be pinching. "Frankly speaking, to be honest, I'm not very satisfied with you." The ice-blue body of the water clam trembled, and he quickly thought of the key point. He said, "A grieved lie, sir. Do you dislike me for not being a virgin?" Huaxian nodded. Shui Bang Bing Lan explained, "My lord, although I am not a virgin, I am absolutely loyal and will never betray you. Please don't despise me." "Okay?" While speaking, his hands became naughty, trying to use his body to gain Huaxian's approval. Huaxian watched this scene and enjoyed it. After a long time, he said, "Okay, I will keep you by my side for the time being." Being addressed as husband made Shui Bang Bing Lan ecstatic. "Thank you, husband." In her opinion, although Huaxian is a human, he is so powerful that he must be a human from the real continent. Being able to come from the true continent meant that he must be doing well in the true continent. As his woman, it would be easy for her to go to the true continent. If she went there, she would have someone to rely on. Boom boom boom. There was a knock on the door. "Who is it?" The water clam Bing Lan asked unhappily. "Aunt, it's me. The colorful water clam." "Colorful, what are you doing here?" "Aunt, I just came back from outside. I heard that a very crazy human came to the family and killed our 9th and 3rd elders. I want to see if he has 3 heads and 6 arms." The tone was very angry. Then, there was the sound of a door being pushed violently. The water clam Bing Lan was shocked and quickly scolded. "Duo Kai, this is an adult matter, you should leave immediately." "Aunt, I am over 3,000 years old. I am already an adult. Please let me in." The water clam Bing Lan still wants to speak. As Huaxian waved his hand, a force hit the door bolt. Clang! With the colorful water clam pushing the door with brute force, the door opened instantly. The colorful water clam stumbled and it fell directly to the ground. From Huaxian's angle, he saw a large white area, which was extremely tempting. When Shui Bang Duokai saw the body on the bed, he was stunned. It was unbelievable that his aunt would do that kind of thing with this human. His face instantly turned red. Shui Bang Bing Lan quickly pulled the quilt over herself. Her face flushed and she looked extremely shy. Huaxian pushed the ice blue water clam away, stood up and walked towards the colorful water clam. The latter was so frightened that he got up and tried to run away. Clang! The door closed instantly. No matter how hard the colorful clam tried, it just couldn't open the door. Shui Bang Binglan didn't care about being shy. She quickly came over and hugged Hu Xian and said, "Hubby, Duo Kai is still young, you shouldn't." "What?" After Hu Xian interrupted, he walked to the side of the colorful water bend. Shui Bang Duo Kai drew his weapon, pointed it at Hu Xian, and shouted in fear, "Don't come over here, or I will." Seeing the thing that Hu Xian shouldn't be looking at, he roared, "Otherwise I will destroy you." Hu Xian smiled and was quite bold. A burst of aura burst out, suppressing the colorful water clam and making it unable to move. Shui Bang Binglan was somewhat desperate, so she rushed over and blocked Hu Xian again, saying, "Hubby, please, let Duo Kai go." "Shut up," Hu Xian scolded coldly. Worried about angering Hu Xian, Shui Bang Binglan could only shut up in frustration. Hu Xian stretched out his hand like a colorful clam. The other person was so scared that tears streamed down his face. Finally, his palm rested on her forehead. "System, extract the evil aura from his body." "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have extracted a trace of the origin of evil, which can be integrated into the realm of the evil true god to improve your cultivation. Integrate into the evil 98 genetic power." "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have integrated the evil origin aura into the evil 98 genetic power. The evil 98 genetic power realm has skyrocketed by 4 levels, and the current level is Super God 20 levels. Hu Xian was very shocked. He didn't expect that a trace of our aura could cause the 98 evil gene realm to surge by 4 levels. What would happen if he obtained the power of our academy? Looking forward to it very much. The colorful water clam, who originally felt that he was in a very bad condition, felt Hu Xian put his hand on his forehead, and his condition instantly improved. It was a wonderful feeling. Hu Xian asked, "Where have you been recently? Or have you come into contact with any strange people?" Faced with such a question, Shui Bang Duo Kai frowned. Hu Xian explained, "There was a strange aura of power on you, and I just helped you get rid of it." The colorful water clam suddenly realized and thought carefully. After a while, he said, "I went to a Tiankang, and after I came out, I felt uncomfortable all over." Hu Xian excitedly grabbed her hand and said, "Take me to that Tiankang." "But you were like this." Shui Bang Duo Kai looked Hu Xian up and down, feeling extremely shy. Hu Xian then noticed his situation, because his exquisite charm suit was damaged before, so he could only put on his clothes. Then he said, "Take me there." "Okay, follow me." I thought to myself, "You killed the 9th and 3rd elders of my clan and went to that Tiankang. I hope you die in there. Only by being there can you know how terrifying the Tiankang is." Which is why he was so generous to take Hu Xian there. At this time, Shui Bang Binglan asked, "Duo Kai, is the Tiankang you mentioned a demonic pit?" "Yes, auntie, it is the devil's pit." "You actually ran to the devil's pit. Are you tired of living? Fortunately, you met your uncle. Otherwise what would you do?" "Uncle?" the colorful water python muttered and smiled coldly. Chapter 595, The Apprentice Who Came to the Door. "Colorful. Why are you here?" the clan leader asked angrily to the colorful water clam, looking very worried. Then he turned to Hu Xian and said, "Sir, what are you doing?" Shui Bang Duo Kai said, "This lord wants me to take him to the demonic pit." "What?" The patriarch was shocked. And he understood his daughter's intention and said nothing more. "Husband, where is the devil's pit?" asked the evil spirit Izu. "You'll find out when you get there. Do you want to go with us?" "Of course we'll go together." And a large group of people followed the colorful water clam. The colorful water clam was very excited about this. "I thought this is a good opportunity to catch you all in one fell swoop." Watercolor Rice Blue to follow. The clan leader called out softly, "5th elder, you don't need to go." Shui Kai Binglan stopped reluctantly and looked at Hu Xian who was walking away. Thinking of the intimate scenes with Hu Xian, "I really can't bear to leave him." Master Shui Bang asked, "Father, I'm afraid my sister will be in danger if she goes there." You still dare to say that if you hadn't been so self-righteous and caused so much trouble for the family, would the 9th elder and the 3rd elder have died? Go to the back mountain and face the wall and reflect on your mistakes for 3 years. "Father, 3 years is too long. Then it will be 5 years. A patriarch said with great dignity. Master Shui Bang didn't dare to say anything more and walked towards the back mountain in great depression. Shui Bang Binglan said worriedly, "Chief, the magic pit may not be able to kill him. It doesn't matter if you can't destroy him. What is your relationship with him now?" "I am his woman." "That's it. If he comes back, you can just drag him away. If he can't come back, it can be considered revenge for the 3rd and 9th elders." "Husband, what about our daughter?" a woman nearby asked with great concern. Alas, my daughter is willing to sacrifice for the family. She is a hero of our clan. If she dies, she will be included in the ancestral temple. In the Shui Bang tribe, if a woman wants to be included in the ancestral temple, she must make great contributions. Other women are not qualified to enter the ancestral temple. So, this can be considered an honor. On the other side, Shui Bang Duo Kai took Hu Xian and others out of the city, walking towards the transfer island, the only uninhabited area. There was garbage everywhere along the way. Although it is called an uninhabited area, there are actually many scavengers and many desperate creatures living here. Seeing a group of beauties coming, everyone put down what they were doing and looked at them curiously. Some even drooled. Ordinary. An uncle deliberately fell to the ground, but his eyes were looking at the skirts of the evil spirit Yizu and the others. Court death. The evil spirit Yizu waved her hand and a stream of energy shot out. The uncle turned into ashes before he could even react. Those around who were still planning to imitate the uncle were frightened and terrified to the extreme. Some were even scared to death. Not far, a little girl came running. Ding dong. He knelt heavily in front of the evil spirit Yizu. Boom boom boom. Without saying a word, he just kowtowed. The evil spirit Yizu frowned and asked, "What are you doing? Beautiful sister, please accept me as your disciple. Please." Begging bitterly. "I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in taking in an apprentice. If you don't leave, I'll be rude to you." The little girl stood up in despair, blood streaming down her forehead. Hu Xian shouted, "Wait." The little girl turned around and looked at him and asked, "Handsome brother, are you willing to accept me as your disciple?" Hu Xian smiled and said, "I'll give you a chance, kill him and I'll accept you as my disciple." Hu Xian pointed at an old man who had disabled limbs but survived entirely by willpower. The little girl looked at the old man suddenly. The old man was also looking at him. The two stared at each other for 3 full minutes. The old man said, "Suiyu, come on, kill me, I am useless and living is suffering. If my death can change your future, I think it is worth it." Suiyu was struggling violently in her heart. After 5 full minutes, Suiyu looked at Hu Xian and shook her head vigorously, saying, "If becoming your master means that I will become a bad person, I would rather not become your master." After saying that, he turned and left. The scavengers around her all looked at her as if she were a fool. This was an opportunity to change my destiny, but I missed it. If it were them, they would be willing to kill everyone here, let alone a useless old scavenger. Hu Xian shouted again. Wait. This time Suiyu didn't stop at all. Hu Xian smiled because of her personality. Congratulations, you passed the assessment to be a teacher. Suiyu's body trembled violently, and she thought quickly, and soon figured out the key points. He turned around and looked at Hu Xian and asked, "Are you testing me just now?" Hu Xian nodded and said, "That's right, if you really kill him, you will naturally not be qualified to be my disciple." Disciple greets master. Suiyu was so excited that she was about to kowtow. Hu Xian waved his hand, dragged her up and said, "Don't kneel down at every turn. A strong person must always stand up straight to become stronger. It is only right for a disciple to kneel before his master." Suiyu struggled, knelt on the ground, and performed the ceremony of 3 kneelings and 9 kowtows to become his apprentice. "Okay, follow me, master." Shui Bang Duo Kai looked at Hu Xian in surprise and quickly led the way. He thought silently in his heart, he must be pretending. If he was really a good person, he wouldn't have killed the 3rd and 9th elders of my clan. Suiyu followed everyone excitedly. Because everyone was a cultivator and their pace was quite fast. She, an ordinary person, could only jog along. He was out of breath after a while. Fortunately, she has been exercising all year round and has a strong physique. Otherwise she would have collapsed from exhaustion long ago. Hu Xian stopped. Suiyu finally caught up with him and came to his side, saying self-reproachfully, "Master, am I a loser and useless?" Worried about being disliked by Hu Xian. Hu Xian squatted down, held her in his arms and said, "How old are you? You are an ordinary person. And it's great that you have such a physique." As he said this, he held her in his arms and hurried on. Suiyu was stunned. "This is the first time since I was a child that I have been held in someone's arms. This feeling gives me a sense of security and unprecedented happiness." Tears rolled down silently. "Why are you still crying?" Hu Xian asked, puzzled. "Lie. Master, Suiyu has been alone since she can remember. She was despised by everyone and grew up eating garbage. This is the first time she has been held in someone's arms. So you have no memory of your parents or family? No impression. And how did you get here when you were very young?" Gefei asked. "I feel very close to Suiyu, just because Suiyu is also a human. This is also an important reason why Hu Xian accepted her as his apprentice." "Huang, it was Huang who raised me," Suiyu said with great gratitude. "Huang? This seems to be the name of a dog?" Zhao Yuan still muttered. Well, Huang is a dog, but to me, he is my parent. Everyone says that without Huang, I would have died a long time ago. What about Huang? Hu Xian asked curiously. Chapter 596, Huang is not simple. There were sounds of dogs barking in the distance. Sui Yu shouted in surprise, "It's Huang, Huang is here." After a while, a mangy dog that was dirty and had a lot of hair falling off came running towards them at full speed. He started yelling at Hu Xian and the others in a hostile manner. Everyone understood at a glance that Huang saw Sui Yu being held by Hu Xian. "Huang! Master, let me go." Sui Yu was also very excited. Only then did Hu Xian put her down. Sui Yu pounced quickly towards the mangy dog Huang. The man and the dog hugged each other. Huang shouted, still very wary of Hu Xian and the others. Sui Yu said excitedly, "Huang, don't worry, he is my master. I will practice with him and become a super powerful warrior. And I will lead you to live a good life." Huang seemed to understand what people were saying and shouted excitedly. The man and the dog communicated for a long time. Hu Xian came over and said, "You can take him with you. Is it okay, master?" Sui Yu was very excited. Because of Huang's appearance, the homeless people all disliked him. Since it was Huang who raised you, you should repay him. Besides, the genes in his body are also mutating, and he might evolve into a human. Really? Sui Yu was extremely excited. Hu Xian nodded and said, "And your teachers still lie to you? As the king of men, he is extremely sensitive to any series of genetic power." Hu Xian did feel that the genes in Huang's body were mutating. "Huang, did you hear that? One day you will be able to transform? Come on." Huang called out to Hu Xian twice, as if to express his gratitude. Next, Shui Bang Duokai continued to lead the way and walked towards the magic pit. As we get closer to the devil's pit, there are fewer and fewer lights here. All the creatures that can be seen here are extremely miserable. It's because I can't make it anywhere else and can only wait to die here. Buzz rumble. A large transport ship arrives. Hu Xian and the others stop and looked over curiously. I saw the spaceship flying over the garbage dump. Countless people on the ground rushed towards the area below where the spaceship was. Huang roared at Sui Yu. Sui Yu glanced at Hu Xian and said, "Huang, I have to follow my master now and can't go scavenging." Boo! A hatch at the bottom of the spacecraft opened. Countless garbage poured down. All kinds of garbage were there. An extremely foul, sour smell also spread with the strong wind. From a distance, Hu Xian and his friends could also smell an extremely unpleasant odor. This place has become a garbage graveyard. Let's go to the devil's pit. The colorful water clams continued to lead the way. After about a quarter of an hour, they arrived at a pit with a radius of 1 kilometer. It was pitch black, and apart from that, there was nothing special to discover. Everyone stopped and looked at the magic pit curiously, hoping to discover something. Hu Xian watched for a while, then said to Shui Bang Duokai, "Give me your devil card." "What are you going to do?" asked the colorful water clam inferently. Hu Xian smiled and said, "Thank you for showing me the way. So I will pay you for the guide fee." Shui Bang Duokai smiled coldly, took out his devil card and threw it to Hu Xian. Hu Xian took the devil card and transferred the money directly. "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 36.0 trillion demon crystals within 360 minutes, and received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit twice within 400 minutes to get 720 trillion demon crystals. If the mission fails, the host will be wiped out, and if the mission is completed, 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be awarded." After receiving the transfer, the colorful water clam was stunned for a moment. He stared at Hu Xian in disbelief, unable to recover for a long time. Hu Xian said to her, "This is your guide fee. Now we have arrived at our destination. If you want to leave, you can do so at any time." Shui Bang Duokai finally reacted and asked in disbelief, "Are you sure that this 36 trillion is just the guide fee you gave me? There is no other purpose." She was sure that the entire water clam tribe could not come up with such a huge sum of money. And this guy just transferred the money to himself casually. At this moment, she also confirmed the fact that she dared not accept in her heart. That this guy must be a human from the true continent. Otherwise he wouldn't be so rich. Hu Xian smiled and said, "It's just a few demon crystals, don't take it too seriously. Ladies, let's go down and take a look." After saying this to the evil spirit Yizu and the others, he jumped down first. "Master, what should I and Huang do?" Sui Yu quickly shouted to Hu Xian. Hu Xian turned around, waved his hand and a beam of energy hit Sui Yu and Huang. Then waved his hand again and each of them threw a punch at him. Everyone else quickly followed suit and jumped down. The colorful water clam watched the crowd that was about to disappear in the magic pit, gritted his teeth, and jumped in anyway. The main reason is to know how powerful this human being, who is most likely from the true continent, is. Is it possible to die in the devil's pit? Sinking all the way down. Getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Huaxian finally felt a familiar breath. Very excited. Because this is the breath of the evil source power. A breath of the evil origin power caused the evil number 98 gene realm to search by for levels. What would happen if a trace of the evil origin power did? Of course, there is more to fantasy. Being too excited accelerated the sinking speed. It was extremely safe all the way, and we didn't encounter any living creatures or dangers. This situation makes everyone feel uneasy. The water clams are colorful. Was it like this when you came down before? Zhi Yuan still asked her. Yes, that's right, there doesn't seem to be any living creatures here. And it seems that any creature that comes here will get into trouble. Huaxian thought that it might be caused by the influence of the evil origin power on living things. That's good, it saves trouble. Continuing to sink, when we were about 10 meters deep, the first large platform appeared, with a dark cave next to it. Everyone subconsciously landed on the platform. Zhi Yuan once again asked Shui Bang Duo Kai. Have you ever been into that cave? The colorful water clam's goal is to kill Huaxian and the others. He nodded and said, I've been in there, and there's nothing special inside except a pile of bones. Huaxian has already felt that there is a breath of power of evil origin floating out of the cave. Looking at the colorful water clam, he said, You are lying. Shui Bang Duo Kai's heart trembled, and he forced himself to remain calm and said, You said I was lying, you will know if you go in and take a look. Huaxian ignored her and led the way towards the cave. Huang had a keen sense of danger when he saw Huaxian walking towards the cave. He started yelling at him. Suiyu translated, Master. Huang said the cave is very dangerous and asked you not to go in. Chapter 597, Mysterious Creatures. Huaxian nodded and said, Since it's dangerous, no one should go in, I can go in alone. Honey, I want to go in with you. Gefei was the first to express her opinion. We wanted to. Others also quickly expressed their opinions. Huaxian nodded and said, In that case everyone follow me in. Taking the lead and walking in front. The others followed quickly behind. Huang still wants to stop it. But he was stopped by Suiyu, who took him and followed behind everyone. He knew that his master was very powerful, and the danger in Huang's eyes might be nothing at all in his master's eyes. Only the colorful water clam was left standing on the platform. She did not follow them in, but mocked in her heart. It's better if you all go in, you'd better die in there. As you walk in, you can see bones from time to time, including those of various creatures but mostly human bones. Call. A cold wind blew and everyone shuddered with fear. It carries a strong breath of evil origin power. The moment this breath touches the skin, it seeps into the body through the pores. This is a good thing for Huaxian. Subconsciously looked at other people. They didn't seem to feel any discomfort. He doesn't care even if everyone is affected by the evil source power. He can remove it. So keep moving forward. The evil spirit Yizu complained. How could a gust of cold wind suddenly appear in this cave? It's so weird. I find it weird too, said Dragonfly Crescent. The others nodded as well. Then they all looked at Huaxian. Their eyes seemed to be asking, There is danger here. Can't you feel it? Huaxian smiled slightly, not intending to hide it, and said, That is not just a cold wind, it carries the breath of the evil source power. The breath of the source of evil power. The evil spirit Yizu muttered. And then said in shock, Any power that is linked to the origin seems to be very powerful. Will this evil origin power cause harm to us? Of course. And you've all been infected. I'll soon feel physically ill. And husband, will you be okay? Gefei asked. Of course I'll be fine. Otherwise, you guys just wait for me here, I'll be alone. No, even if we die, we will die with you. Guffey interrupted. The others nodded as well. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, Then let's keep moving forward. At this time, Huang first yelled angrily, then made fighting gestures towards the inside of the cave and shouted fiercely. Suiyu translated nervously, Huang saw a terrifying existence. It was very terrifying. Huaxian looked over with confusion and became even more confused. In the darkness, he found nothing. So what did Huang? An ordinary dog who had just embarked on the road of evolution. See, at this moment, an extremely strong danger came. It's just dangerous, nothing else has changed. Huaxian subconsciously looked at the others, their expressions were calm, as if they hadn't discovered anything. Huang yelled angrily and rushed towards Huaxian's left side. Huaxian realized that Huang really saw something. Because just a second before Huang pounced, he felt an extremely strong sense of danger. System. Strengthen my dog language. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully strengthening the dog's language. Due to the unlimited strengthening points, there is no consumption for this strengthening. Huang, tell me where he is. Having learned the dog language, Huaxian asked Huang. Huang was stunned, as if surprised that this human could suddenly talk to him. After reacting, he started barking, at one place. Buzz. The space trembled, and an extremely powerful force burst out from Huaxian's body. He threw a fierce punch towards the place where Huang was roaring. Huang kept changing directions and roaring, while Huaxian kept bombarding him. With every attack, a large piece of space would shatter. Everyone was stunned with shock when they saw the horrific attack. At the same time, I am speechless. Why is my husband fighting with a dog? Dew. Just at this moment, a mouthful of dark blood suddenly spurted out. Magnetic. This horrible blood was so corroded that the space was emitting green smoke. Everyone was shocked to the extreme, because they found that the space was corroded by the dark blood. There were spots of nothingness left in the air, and the self-repair of space became slow. At this moment they were shocked to realize that Huang was not screaming like crazy and Huaxian was not hitting like crazy. There appeared creatures that they could not see. The most shocking thing among them was the God King level death and absolute life. She tried her best to sense it, but could not find anything. She was somewhat unwilling to accept this. As a God King level being, she felt that she was invincible in the entire continent. But now, there was something she couldn't perceive. The unidentified creature vomited blood again after being beaten by Huaxian. At this time, Huang shouted and chased into the depths of the cave. Huaxian accelerated and followed closely behind. Bang! After a while, Huang bumped into a transparent palm. Click! The force of the impact was so great that Huang's neck was broken instantly. He flew more than 10 meters away before falling heavily to the ground. Blood kept oozing out of his mouth and nostrils. Everyone chased over and were stunned when they saw this scene. Huaxian hurried to check on Huang's condition. It was very bad. All the bones in the body were shattered by the recoil force. Not only that, even the tendons, veins, etc. were broken. Huang should have exploded and died at that moment. But for some reason, he didn't. Not only that, Huang, whose internal organs were festering, should have died. But he didn't die. A long time. Suyu came running over panting. Seeing Huang lying on the ground, dying, his body trembled violently. He shouted, Huang. She rushed over, tears rolling down her cheeks silently. Holy light heals. Huaxian didn't care about his identity being exposed and used his light skills. Everyone at the scene was stunned when they saw the incomparably pure holy light emanating from Huaxian's station. The holy light had no effect on Huang. Obviously the level is not enough. Master, please save Huang. You must save Huang. Suyu knelt in front of Huaxian and begged bitterly. Huaxian took a deep breath and said, okay, I will definitely save Huang. Originally, he thought Huang was just an ordinary old dog that was constantly evolving. But Huang saw things that he could not perceive. Huaxian knew that Huang was definitely not simple. Just when Huaxian wanted to draw lottery to win the treasure to save Huang, a dark light rushed over silently, disappeared in the blink of an eye, and sank into Huang's body. Roar! Huang suddenly let out a fierce and strange cry, bared his teeth and claws, and showed an extremely crazy look. At the same time, an extremely dangerous aura burst out from Huang's body. Huaxian was so scared that he pulled Suyu back again and again. Chapter 598, Evil Spirit Possessed. Master, what happened to Huang? Suyu felt extremely distressed when she saw Huang going crazy and in pain. Huaxian felt Huang's changes and said in shock, Huang is evolving at an extremely fast speed. Roar! Amidst Huang's strange cries, he actually stood up straight. This scene made everyone feel particularly surprised. It's the first time to see a species evolve at such an ultra-fast speed. This is a spectacle that most people will never see once in their lifetime. This is because the evolution of every species is slow and takes countless time to complete. But Huang stood up in just a few dozen seconds. Under everyone's gaze, the dog's body evolved towards that of a human. Dead Spirit Jushing frowned and said to Huaxian, Hubby, as Huang evolves, the evil power in his body becomes more and more terrifying. After completing the evolution, is he still Huang? Huang is always Huang. No matter what Huang becomes, he will never change. When Suyu heard what the dead spirit Jusheng said, he roared with great determination. He even moved closer to Huang, as if he was protecting Huang and forbidding anyone to hurt Huang. Huaxian said, My disciple, don't get excited, I will not hurt Huang. Huaxian said this, but he carefully felt Huang's changes and then frowned. Because he did not feel the breath of the evil origin power from Huang's body. That is to say, it was not the evil origin power that entered Huang's body. I guess it might be the thing that just injured him. But I have no idea what it is. That thing seemed to be taking over Huang's body. Time passes by every second. In less than an hour, Huang completely completed the purification and turned into an old human form. Because they were naked, the evil spirit Yizu and the others turned away shyly. Suiyu was also dumbfounded when she reacted. Her face turned red and she quickly turned her back. Huang's evolution did not end there. The genes in his body were still evolving. His aura became stronger and stronger, and his body became more and more perfect. Roar, roar, roar. At this time, Huang roared in pain. He held his head with both hands, which was terrifying to watch. Suiyu didn't care about being shy. She turned around and looked at the painful Huang, feeling very worried. Huang, you have to hold on. He rushed over and hugged Huang tightly. Roar, roar, roar. Huang roared repeatedly. His anger became more and more violent. And the dangerous Sora became stronger and stronger. Huaxian also approached Huang. If there was any dangerous action towards Suiyu, he would rescue Suiyu immediately. Huang. It was at this time that Huang let out a normal dog bark. And he struggled in pain again. Huaxian's powerful soul power burst out and rushed towards Huang. His soul left his body and entered Huang's mind. I saw an extremely powerful evil soul wrapping up Huang's weak soul and trying madly to devour Huang. Huang's weak soul struggled hard for a full hour, but failed to let the evil soul succeed. The aura emitted by this soul made Huaxian feel an extremely strong sense of danger. After much hesitation, Huaxian decided to help Huang. Huang's weak soul could struggle to hold on for an hour. So how could my soul, which is 30 levels higher than the god, be afraid? So leader. Huaxian went crazy and split himself into thousands, trying to forcibly wrap up the evil soul and devour it madly. Roar. The evil soul roared in extreme anger, causing Huaxian's consciousness to waver and he almost fainted. Huaxian knew that he couldn't fall into a coma, absolutely not. If Huang, a dog, can hold on with such a weak soul, why can't I? Huaxian's spiritual consciousness was roaring, supported by strong willpower. Roar. The evil spirit's roar became more and more ferocious, and the destructive power it erupted became more and more terrifying. The pressure on Huaxian was increasing, and he felt like he was about to explode. If it explodes, you will definitely die. Outside world. Ziyuan Huairan and the others found that Huaxian suddenly became motionless, as if he had turned into a wooden stake. Everyone is very worried. Sister Death, our husband. The evil spirit Yizu asked her. After all, she was the strongest among them and must know more. Dead spirit Juxing frowned and said, my husband's soul left his body and entered Huang's body to help her fight the evil spirit. Everyone was shocked. Will my husband be in danger? The evil spirit Yizu asked worriedly. It's very dangerous. My husband's condition is not good, dead spirit Juxing said with great concern. What shall we do then? Sister Deathly Absolute. You are a powerful god king, you must have a way to help your husband. Right? In a panic, everyone placed their hopes on the dead spirit Juxing. Dead spirit Juxing smiled bitterly. I am very weak in the soul area. I can't help at all. Everything depends on my husband himself. Inside Huang's body, the outbreak of the evil spirit became more and more terrifying, and Huaxian's condition became worse and worse. Huang's pressure was greatly reduced, and he also felt the danger from Huaxian. Screaming, Huang's soul pounced on the evil soul, bit it hard, tore off a large piece, and then swallowed it. Roar. A large piece of the soul was torn off, and the evil soul roared in pain, and launched a powerful burst of attack towards Huang. Huang was not afraid. She had managed to hold on before without Huaxian's help. Now that Huaxian is sharing the pressure, she is more confident. As the powerful soul power attacked, Huang defended with all his might. Huaxian's pressure was greatly reduced. Finally got buffered. I'm so glad, I almost lost my soul. Ding, congratulations to the host. The soul willpower has increased. The soul power has increased. And the soul realm has reached the 31st level of super god. As his soul power grew stronger, Huaxian felt the pressure ease a little. Devour the evil soul even more crazily. The evil soul had to disperse its strength to resist and suppress Huaxian. After Huang felt that the threat had subsided, he bit the evil soul again. Every time he bit and swallowed a bite of the evil soul, his soul would become much stronger. Originally a dog's soul, it gradually evolved into a human soul. Once the soul has completely completed its evolution, and Huang's evolution into a human being will be successful. If only the body has completed the evolution but not the soul, then he is just a monster. In this way Huaxian and Huang cooperated and attacked in turns, making the evil soul busy on both sides and neither side could gain any benefit. In less than an hour, the evil spirit was weakened. Huaxian's soul realm had actually reached the 81st level of super god. Looking at Huang again, not only has his soul completely transformed into a human form, but he has also reached the soul realm of level 50 above that of a super god. After his body underwent the genetic evolution controlled by the evil soul, It already possessed the cultivation level of Super God level 100. Like Hu Xin, he was only one step away from becoming a God King. Chapter 599, Gender Change. Mercy, please forgive me. I don't want to die. I really don't want to die. Feeling that it had no chance, the evil spirit finally stopped attacking the two and begged for mercy in a pitiful manner. Hu Xin and Huang looked at each other, and attacked together tacitly, launching the final killing attack on the weak evil spirit. Oh, you will die a miserable death. In Ming Mie's final fight, the evil spirit let out a cursed roar. The souls of Hu Xin and Huang stood together, and only then did they notice that Huang was actually a female. Although it was just a soul, it was strong enough and no different from a physical body. Hu Xin was a little dazed when he looked at Huang. I didn't expect that Huang, who has severe hair loss and scabies all over his body, can be so good looking. Suddenly I remembered that when I saw Huang's body outside, it was clearly a male, so how did his soul become a female? Puzzled, Hu Xin asked. Huang, your body is male, so why is your soul female? Huang was in a good mood. Not only did he defeat a powerful enemy and complete his evolution, he also reached an extremely powerful realm naturally. He was happy. He smiled and said, "Don't you know that any of us can choose to reposition our gender during the evolution process? Besides, I was originally a female. I evolved into a male because I wanted to be with Suiyu forever. Later, when I was about to give up, you came and helped me desperately, which made me change my mind. Suiyu is your disciple, and I want to be with him forever. I don't have to be his man. Being his master's wife is also fine. Anyway, you're lustful and surrounded by beautiful women. So when the evil spirit was dealing with your soul, I took the opportunity to change the evolved gender of my body. At that time, the evil spirit was trying to deal with us and didn't care about these things, so I was able to evolve perfectly successfully. So you're not unwilling to accept me because you dislike my previous appearance." Huang still has a clear idea of what he looked like before his evolution. Hu Xin smiled and said, "You caught the evil soul and devolved once. Although it was extremely dangerous, you completed the evolution that other sect leaders could only achieve in 10. 0 years. You have already become a high-level life form. How could I despise you? Advanced life form? How advanced?" Although Huang completed his evolution and inherited some of the evil soul's memories, more memories were inherited by Hu Xin. Anyway, it's very advanced. Much more advanced than the human race, however, because you inherited the amount of evil souls. You belong to the evil dog race. Evil dog tribe? They sound really advanced. Huang's soul grabbed Hu Xin's hand and said, "The souls of both are powerful and the touch is real." Hu Xin felt a little moved and approached Huang gently. Huang suddenly pushed him away and said, "Everyone is waiting outside." After saying this, his soul returned to its place and he opened his eyes. Huang is awake. Everyone looked at Huang, and when they saw her open her eyes, Ziyuan was still the first to shout. Hu Xin also returned to his body. After the soul became stronger, it was found that it was more compatible with the powerful body, and the increased combat power became even more terrifying. "Honey, how are you?" the evil spirit Yizu asked the first thing she did when she saw Hu Xin opened his eyes. The others also turned their attention back to Hu Xin. "Huang, are you really still Huang?" Suiyu threw herself into Huang's arms and asked, crying. Thinking of the painful look Huang had just now, I felt heartbroken. "Silly girl, do you think I'm okay? Why are you crying? You're already a grown-up girl, it's silly to cry." Jingran looked like a loving mother to her daughter. Hu Xin said to everyone, "I'm fine." At Spirit Jusheng suddenly asked, "Hubby, when Huang first evolved, she had a man's body. Later, after your soul entered her body, she gradually evolved into a woman's body. It's all your credit, right?" Hu Xin smiled bitterly, nodded undeniably and said, "Yes, Huang evolved into a girl because of my influence." Husband, you are really awesome," the evil spirit Yizu snorted. Hu Xin smiled and said, "Of course, if I can't do it. And I let Huang look at the huge danger and change his nature for me?" Suiyu heard their conversation, looked at Huang curiously and asked, "Huang, are you in master?" Huang smiled and said, "Yes, from now on I will be your master's wife." Suiyu said happily, "Okay, you are my mother, so it's just right for you to be my master's wife." I was worried that Suiyu wouldn't be able to accept it, but now it seems I was overthinking it. Hu Xin then asked, "Huang, that thing you saw before, is it the evil spirit that possessed you?" Huang nodded, "Yes, it was him with our cooperation. He was seriously injured many times, and his already broken body was completely useless. It just so happened that I was injured and dying at that time, and he wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to take over my body. Fortunately, I persevered and held on." That spirit Jusheng frowned and asked, "How can an ordinary soul resist the possession of that powerful soul?" Huang shook his head and said, "I don't know why. But I just couldn't let go of Suiyu at that time, so I relied on my concern for Suiyu to support myself. Dead Spirit Jusheng looked at Huaxian and said, "Husband, I'm afraid there is something strange about Huang's soul." Huaxian nodded and said, "She is definitely weird, but it doesn't matter. No matter what weirdness she has, she is mine now. By the way, Huang, why can't we find that evil creature?" "But you can," Huaxian asked. Huang pointed to his nose and said, "Because I didn't see it, I smelled it." "From what you heard?" "Yes, our dogs have a very keen sense of smell, and I am even more special. I have been very sensitive to various energies since I was a child. To be more precise, I can smell the scent of various genetic powers." "Genetic power has a taste?" Everyone was shocked. "This is the first time I've heard of it." "Yes, it's a smell. When the evil spirit appears, I can smell its scent. And I can tell where it is moving by the concentration of the scent. I see. It seems that Huang, you are really extraordinary. Your special sense of smell is amazing," Huaxian praised. "That's right. Do you feel like you've found a treasure?" Huang said proudly. Huaxian smiled and said, "Yes, I feel like I was hit by a pie in the sky." "By the way, Huang, can you smell an extremely pure evil force?" Huang nodded and said, "Yes, I smelled it a long time ago. That's why I stopped you from entering the cave in the beginning. That power is extremely evil, powerful, and terrifying. As if it has intelligence, we'd better not provoke it." Huaxian said seriously, "You and I both have mastered the power of evil. If we obtain that power, our cultivation will advance by leaps and bounds, and you may even be able to break through to the Divine King realm in one go." Chapter 600 Soaring. Huang was quite moved. After hesitating for a while, he said, "You can go, but others should not go with you. If we encounter any danger, we still have a chance to escape." Huaxian nodded and said to the dead spirit Jusheng and the others, "Wise, you guys go out first, we will be out to meet you soon." Although everyone was reluctant, they also understood that their level was not high enough and they would just be a burden if they went. "Abi, you have to be careful." "Huang, that's not right. Master's wife, please be safe." Huaxian and Huang walked towards the depths of the cave. Bang! I was hit by the transparent cover again. Huang was furious and punched hard. Boom! With a loud bang, the entire cave shook violently. Boom boom boom. Out countless pieces of rubble fell. At the entrance of the cave, the colorful water clam felt the movement instead of being afraid. He was overjoyed. He thought that Huaxian and his men had a conflict with the horror in the cave. I prayed in my heart that they would be destroyed. Huang was about to attack again, but Huaxian stopped him, saying, "I'm afraid this place can't be entered by force." After saying that, he started to study the transparent barrier seriously. Dead Spirit Jusheng said to the others who were looking at him seriously, "Let's go out first." Everyone had to leave reluctantly. Huaxian stretched out his hand and placed it on the transparent barrier. There was a flash of light, but he could not feel any power fluctuations. The existence of this barrier was very strange. It felt like it could be easily broken through. But when I tried hard to penetrate it, the barrier hardened quickly, which was extremely terrifying. Huaxian thought there was some formation supporting him, but he found nothing. It's all so mysterious. Suddenly, an absurd idea came to Huaxian, and he gathered all the strength in his body. Even the strength in his body. The whole person turned into a spy and went down towards the barrier. A miracle happened and it actually penetrated through. Huang, who was standing by, was stunned. She asked excitedly, "Honey, how did you do that?" Huaxian exhaled and said, "Weak, make yourself as weak as possible, then you can easily penetrate the barrier." Huang quickly did as he was told and made himself soft so that he would fall over when the wind blew. Sure enough, the body passed through unhindered. I came to Huaxian and touched the barrier again. It was real. Abi, it's amazing. The harder I push, the stronger the barrier becomes. It feels like the stronger it gets when it encounters a stronger opponent. Yes, it is indeed mysterious. I'm afraid that ordinary people really can't get through such a barrier. Let's go and take a look. Huang sniffed and said, "Honey, I feel so dangerous. That extremely evil aura is not far from us." Huaxian nodded and said, "Don't be afraid, with my husband here, nothing will happen." The two moved forward cautiously. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Fortunately, both of them were very strong and had excellent eyesight, so the darkness could not affect them. Just then, Huaxian stopped. I felt the extremely strong aura of the evil origin force. "Huang, let's practice here first." Before, it was just a breath of evil original power, which made the 98 evil gene realm surge by 4 levels. The evil origin power here is now so strong that it is hard to imagine how terrifying the improvement will be after refining it. System, refine the aura of the evil origin power for me. Ding, congratulations to the host, the aura of the evil origin force is being refined. Unlimited strengthening points without consumption. Suddenly, one can feel the improvement in one's cultivation level. Wang, who had not yet practiced, felt the powerful evil origin force rushing towards Hu Xian and was stunned with shock. It's hard to imagine what kind of martial arts my husband is practicing that is so terrifying. Buzz. A muffled sound came from Hu Xian's body, and he broke through a realm in less than a minute. Wang was simply stunned. You know, this is a super god level realm. 10 minutes later, the 98 evil genes reached the 31st level of super god. Hu Xian himself was shocked. He thought that the speed of improvement would gradually slow down. After all, the stronger the cultivation, the slower the improvement. However, the auras and power became stronger and stronger, causing his cultivation to improve even faster. Half an hour. The 98 evil gene realms have reached the super god level 100. 50 minutes later, the 97 evil gene systems had reached the super god level 100. 70 minutes later, the 96 evil gene realm reached the super god level 100. 380 minutes later, the 75 evil gene systems had reached the super god level 100. As the time for the consumption task was approaching, Hu Xian had to interrupt his cultivation. Wang on the side was not practicing at all. He stared at Hu Xian in amazement, as if to protect him. Wang, do you have anything you can sell to me? Hu Xian asked. Wang was stunned, not understanding what Hu Xian was going to do. Hu Xian explained the consumption task bitterly. They were all family members and there was nothing to hide. After hearing this, Wang nodded, took out a bone and handed it to Hu Xian, saying, "This is an extra bone I had after completing my transformation. I'm selling it to you." I thought to myself, you are my husband, and I will leave all my rebelliousness to you. Hu Xian nodded and put away his rebelliousness and asked, "Wang, do you have a devil card?" Wang smiled bitterly and said, "Before I evolved, I was just an ordinary scabby dog. How could I have something as advanced as a demon card?" Hu Xian had no choice but to exchange an orange devil card for her in the omnipotent system, and handed it to her saying, "Drop blood to bind it first." After Huang bound it with his blood, he handed it to Hu Xian again. Only then did Hu Xian transfer the money. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 7,200 demon crystals within 400 minutes, and received 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete the critical hit 3 times rounded up to 200 trillion demon crystals within 500 minutes. If the mission fails, the host will be killed. If the mission is completed, you will receive 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments as rewards. After receiving the huge sum of money, Huang was stunned. She has been in the garbage cemetery all the time. For a mangy girl like her, demon coins are things that she can only dream of but cannot even obtain, let alone demon crystals. Now, my husband directly transferred 720,000 demon crystals to me. With such a huge sum of money, she felt that she could buy the entire transit island. Husband, you. Hu Xian has already sat cross-legged and continued to practice. Huang smiled bitterly, carefully put away the devil card, and protected Hu Xian again. 20 minutes later, the 74 evil gene realms reached the super god level 100. 40 minutes later, the 75 evil gene systems reached the super god level 100. Just when Hu Xian was eager to continue to improve madly and raise the evil gene realm to the super god level 100. Buzz. The space trembled violently, and an extremely strong sense of danger swept over. Hubby, be careful. Huang smelled the terrifying force coming at him and shouted in fear. Chapter 601, Double Breakthrough. Do fast. Hu Xian had no time to react. The next moment, he was hit by this mysterious power, which instantly spread throughout his body and made him float up. Wang was anxious to help and get closer to this mysterious power. Buzz. The mysterious power trembled slightly, and an extremely strong aura spread out. Boom. Wang was knocked flying and hit heavily against the stone wall. Dew. He rolled to the ground and spit out a mouthful of blood. His bones and meridians were broken, and he looked extremely miserable. He didn't care about his own situation and was shocked to the extreme. You have to know that she is now at the peak of the 100th level of Super God. But she was defeated by a slight aura and lost her combat effectiveness. I am extremely worried about Hu Xian's situation. Although Hu Xian couldn't make any sound, he saw everything that happened outside and was shocked. I was very frightened that the power of evil origin was so terrifying. At this time, the evil source power turned into thousands of rays and entered Hu Xian's body through all the pores on his body. Ding, a super strong evil origin power has been detected. The host has not reached the level of God King and cannot refine the evil origin power. It is estimated that within 30 seconds, the evil origin power will assimilate the host. System, fuse 100 ordinary lottery chance fragments for me. I want to make a wish for an intermediate lottery super god level barrier breaking pill. The situation was critical, and Huaxin no longer dared to be stingy with ordinary lottery chance fragments. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have successfully taken the Super God level barrier breaking pill after fusing 100 pieces of ordinary lottery opportunity fragments and wishing to win. Please luck in the Super God level peak realm you want to upgrade. 98 evil realms, upgrade them to the God King level for me. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have used the Super God level barrier breaking pill to break through the barrier, allowing the evil 98 gene realm to reach the God King level. Refine the power of the origin of evil for me. Ding. Refining the power of the evil origin, congratulations to the host. All the evil gene realms have reached the Super God level 100. This reminder made Huaxin stunned for a moment. In less than a second, all the evil elements reached the 100th level of Super God, which shows how terrifying the power of the origin of evil is. Ding, congratulations to the host, the evil 98 gene realm has reached the second level of the God King. Ding, congratulations to the host, the evil 98 gene realm has reached the third level of the God King. The realm is improved as easily as drinking water, which is simply too cool. Outside, Huang, who was originally extremely worried, was stunned when he felt Huaxin's breakthrough. Her worries increased instead of decreased. In her opinion, her husband might have been possessed by evil. 10 minutes later, Huaxin's evil 98 gene realm reached the 20th level of God King, almost 2 levels per minute. But it gradually slowed down later. Huaxin could feel how terrifying the evil origin power refined by the system was. However, the evil genetic power required to upgrade to the level of God King has reached a terrifying level. The gap between each level is really like a chasm. The further we go, the bigger the gap becomes. Because of this, Huaxin deeply realized that at the God King level, the chance of fighting a higher level would be smaller, because the gap between each level is too huge. An hour later, he reached the 50th level of God King. Huaxin felt that all the cells, meridians, and bones in his body had undergone earth-shaking changes. The bones in particular turned golden and exuded divine power. This is the real divine bone. Damn human, you actually want to refine me. An ancient and indescribable voice sounded in Huaxin's mind. At the same time, an extremely dangerous soul lore attacked Huaxin's mind. Huaxin's expression changed drastically. System, refine this origin soul. That's right, this is the original soul intelligence born from the original power of evil. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have refined the power of the evil origin soul. And your soul realm has reached the 100th level of Super God. In the same instant, he reached the 100th level of Super God. The system gave me a fusion of 100 ordinary lottery fragments. I want to make a wish for an intermediate lottery Super God level soul realm breakthrough pill to use. Ding, congratulations to the host for integrating an intermediate wish lottery opportunity. The lottery won a Super God level soul realm barrier breaking pill and took it. The soul realm reached the first level of the God King. Refine the original soul for me. Buzz. Huaxin also activated the soul devouring skill. However, this skill is fine when it comes to devouring souls weaker than oneself, but it is extremely dangerous when it comes to devouring souls stronger than oneself. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have refined the power of the evil origin soul, and your soul realm has reached the second level of the God King. Fortunately, with the help of the system, not only was the evil origin soul refined, but the other party was also suppressed. Suddenly, his soul cultivation and the 98 evil genetic realms both advanced by leaps and bounds. 5 hours later. Ding, congratulations to the host. The evil 98 gene realm has reached the 100th level of the God King. Ding, congratulations to the host, your soul realm has reached the 100th level of the God King. Both realms reached the peak of the God King, and the combat effectiveness skyrocketed to an unpredictable level. The evil origin power and the original soul intelligence were extremely weak, and Huaxin easily controlled them. After controlling them, Huaxin looked at Huang, who was lying limp on the ground, full of worry, and walked over. Seeing this, Huang asked in horror, "Who are you? Are you my husband?" Huaxin smiled and said, "If I'm not your husband, who else could I be?" He walked to the seriously injured but still stayed by the side of Huang, who was being pricked by needles. She said affectionately, "Don't move, I really am your husband." As he spoke, he injected the remaining evil origin power and original soul intelligence into Huang's body. He forced Huang to refine and cure his injuries while improving his cultivation. Especially Huang's weak soul, which improved extremely quickly. Huang felt the incomparably pure original soul power and finally believed that Huaxin was still Huaxin. After about an hour, Huang's soul also reached the peak of the Super God state. The injuries on his body had fully recovered, and he also joined in the refining, striving to reach the realm of the God King. 2 hours later. Buzz. The space trembled violently, and circles of terrifying aura spread out in the surrounding space, spreading layer by layer. Flick, click. Dense cracks appeared on the surrounding stone walls. Boom boom boom. When this force hit the transparent and invisible barrier, it was blah. It was fortunate that this happened. Otherwise the people waiting at the cave entrance would have been suppressed to death by the power of this God King. Huaxian wanted to take action to suppress this pressure. But he was busy helping Huang refine the energy and was unable to spare the time. So he was extremely worried. He heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that the transparent barrier had taken on most of the pressure. Even so, after the people at the entrance of the cave felt the residual power, they were shocked and became very worried. Only the colorful water clams smiled happily. Think that damn human is dead. Inside the cave. This lasted for about a quarter of an hour before Huang finally made a breakthrough. His genetic realm and soul cultivation both broke through to the level of God King. Chapter 602, Summoning. Because Huang had no systematic suppression, not only was the breakthrough very noisy, but he was also very unstable after the breakthrough. In this situation, she needs to consolidate her cultivation on her own, and Huaxian can't help. It would not be over in a short time. So Huaxian set up a formation around her that could be destroyed from the inside but not from the outside, and then walked out of the cave. Seeing Huaxian coming out, everyone gathered around. Honey, are you okay? Master, where is Huang? Everyone asked. Huang has obtained a great opportunity and has completed a breakthrough. He needs to stay here to consolidate his cultivation. Please do not disturb him. That spirit Zhu Sheng asked in shock. Huang has broken through to the God King level? What? Hearing this, everyone looked at Huaxian in shock. Huaxian nodded and said, that's right. Everyone fell silent, some unable to accept it. You know, Huang was just an ordinary mangy dog at the beginning. They all knew that. Who would have thought that after only 10 hours or so, Huang had actually reached the level of God King? It feels more unreal than a dream. But is it necessary for my husband to lie to them? The water clam Duokai standing by looked at Huaxian in disbelief. After a while, he asked, what about you? Huaxian looked at him and said, I have also gained a great opportunity, and I have to thank you for leading the way. The colorful body of the water clam trembled, and it could not accept this display at all. Huaxian then asked the heroines, do you have anything to sell? Darlings? Having followed Huaxian for so long, Yiming naturally believed that the time for his consumption ask had come again. I just can't figure out where my husband's demon crystal came from. Chua Yian picked up a stone and handed it to Huaxian, saying, hubby, I'll sell it to you. Huaxian took the stone and said, give me the devil card. Chua Yian handed over the demon card with a smile and said, husband, how many demon crystals do you plan to use to buy this stone treasure? Huaxian smiled without saying anything and directly transferred the money to Chua Yian. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 200 trillion demon crystals within 500 minutes and obtained 3 lottery opportunity fragments. Ding, new mission, complete the critical hit twice within 10 hours. For 100 quadrillion, 0 demon crystals, if the mission fails, the host will be wiped out, and if the mission is completed, 3 lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained. After Huaxian received the money, even though he had prepared himself mentally, he was still shocked when he saw the amount deposited into his card. After a while, she looked at Huaxian and asked, husband, is this a mission or a benefit? 200 trillion demon crystals? Aren't the demons so wealthy? Others were also shocked when they heard this data. Huaxian smiled and said, don't make a fuss, demon crystals are only the lowest level currency in the true continent. Just like the demon coins in the Red Moon Star continent. Real continent? Huddy, could it be that it really is from the real continent? They had begun to suspect this a long time ago, and when they heard Huaxian bring it up, they became even more certain. Huaxian smiled and said, what do you mean? You won't believe me if I say I'm not from the real continent. So I'll just say I'm from the real continent. Then husband, tell us about the real continent. Everyone was extremely curious. Even the colorful water clams are very curious. Huaxian smiled and said, don't be curious, we will be heading to the real continent soon. I want to go to the real continent too, Shui Bang Duokai said subconsciously. Huaxian looked at her with lustful eyes and said, they are all my wives. So I'm taking them to the true continent, why should I take you with me? Well, if you don't take me, I'll go by myself. After saying this, Shui Bang Duokai left, thinking of using some connections to get on board the spaceship to the real continent. Huaxian said to everyone, Huang won't be able to stabilize his cultivation for a while. Let's go down and take a look. Huaxian was looking forward to what good stuff would come next. We have gained such great benefits just in this first platform cave, and there must be even better treasures below. Thinking of this, Huaxian jumped down impatiently. Everyone looked at each other and hurried to follow. Sinking all the way down, Hu Xian, who had already reached the peak of the God King, could see everything around him clearly and was not affected by the darkness at all. It's different for others. Honey, it's too dark, our eyesight is completely useless. My perception has also become very weak. Hu Xian said calmly. Don't worry, I'm here. As soon as they finished speaking, dozens of black tentacles attacked them rapidly. Except Hu Xian. No one else noticed anything. Snort. Hu Xian exploded with an angry snort. With greater speed, he grabbed the tentacles and ruthlessly tied them together. The binding is tight. Only when they heard the sound of the tentacles struggling did Ziyuan and the others react. Honey, what's that sound? Dead Spirit Jusheng only reacted at this time. Obviously, her cultivation level of God King is not enough here. The tentacles of a dark creature. I didn't see the whole picture of what kind of dark creature it was. So I'm not very clear. It's too dangerous down there. How about I take you up there? No, husband, I feel something very familiar down there. As if it's calling me, but I'm not sure. Conquya suddenly said. Go? Hu Xian also became curious. In that case, let's continue sinking. We need to see what makes Conquya have such a feeling. Along the way, they encountered many attacks from dark creatures, but they were all easily subdued by Hu Xian. Conquya suddenly said. Honey, we're here it's over there. With eyesight and ordinary perception disabled, Conquya could only point out the discoveries that had opened. Hu Xian looked over and saw that it was actually a huge peacock statue. Conquya is a member of the peacock tribe, and the peacock statue responded to her. This might be Conquya's opportunity. Relying on the powerful God King's speak divine power, he led everyone into the huge mouth of the peacock statue. Boom, boom. As soon as everyone entered, the peacock statue's mouth was closed. Everyone's perception also returned to normal at this time. The eternal lamp inside the statue lit up automatically, and vision was restored. However, Conquya felt that the call was getting stronger and stronger, and he even forgot to say hello to Hu Xian and ran towards the depths of the statue. Hu Xian hurriedly followed. The others followed closely behind, looking at him curiously along the way. Wow, is that the Hunyuan stone? Li Ying suddenly shouted. It seems so, Li Ying, you actually know the Hunyuan stone. Cha Yuan still asked. Li Ying explained. I saw it in the treasure atlas. That's right, the treasure atlas records a lot of diluted treasures. Soon, we arrived inside the peacock statue. At this time, the temperature began to drop and became colder and colder. Chapter 603, Death Grass. Conquya, hasn't the thing you feel arrived yet? Asked stepmother Mu Chao Yuelan. Of course, they are sisters now. Soon. The speed of Conquya has increased a little. 5 minutes later, all the surrounding buildings turned into ice. Standing there, even though everyone had at least the true god level cultivation, they were still shivering with cold. I felt a little uneasy. Hubby, I always feel like something bad is going to happen, said the evil spirit Yizu. Honey, I feel the same way. Everyone stopped to express their opinions. Hu Xian himself had the same feeling, as if there was a force preventing them from getting close. It was at this time. Buzz. The space trembled, and dozens of powerful and irresistible forces appeared out of nowhere, enveloping all of them. Everyone was so shocked that they couldn't resist at all. Hu Xian was the most shocked, because even at the peak of God King realm, he had no power to resist this force. The next moment, power exploded and the space changed. When they regained their freedom, they had left the peacock statue. Only Peacock Pass is missing. Honey, what happened just now? Everyone asked in horror. Hu Xian pondered for a while and said, that is a peacock statue. I'm afraid it is related to the inheritance of the peacock clan. We are not from the peacock clan. I think we were expelled. So, that's Conquya's opportunity? It should be. Let's go on and have a look, maybe there will be an opportunity for you. Hearing this, everyone became excited. Even Huang got the opportunity here. So naturally they wanted to follow Hu Xian and continue sinking. Soon we reached the bottom. There was a strange green light everywhere, which restored everyone's vision to normal. After looking around carefully, they were all stunned with horror. There were huge corpses everywhere. What kind of creatures' skeletons are these? They are so huge. I don't know how long they have been dead, but they are still emitting a destructive aura. At Spirit Jusheng said in surprise, this is probably a tomb. Judging from the aura of these corpses, they are probably at least God King level creatures. God King level? After everyone was shocked, they were also surprised. They are all God King level, so they probably have a lot of treasures. Is there any inheritance here? Feng Po said suddenly. If I'm lucky, I should be able to encounter inheritance. After Dead Spirit Jusheng finished speaking, he said to Hu Xian, Hubby, this place is a blessed land for me. I'm going to practice. After saying that, he left in one direction without waiting for Hu Xian's consent. Husband, I also want to seek opportunities, said Black Butterfly. Hubby, I also want to seek opportunities. Everyone expressed their opinions one after another. The main reason is that everyone else has their own opportunities, and they don't want to fall too far behind. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, let's all go. I have left soul marks on them, so if they are in danger, I will rescue them immediately. Furthermore, when it comes to cultivation, they cannot be allowed to grow in a greenhouse. There seems to be no danger here at the moment. And maybe they can really find their own opportunities. Everyone dispersed immediately. Only Hu Xian and his disciple Suiyu were left there. Master, how should I go? She hadn't started practicing yet, so she didn't know what to do. System, monitor my disciple Suiyu's aptitude and customize a training plan for me. Ding, the apprentice Suiyu has excellent qualifications. The tailor-made training plan is successful, unlimited strengthening points without consumption. The first is the practice method. Comprehensive practice method, which is a hodgepodge of practices tailored to Suiyu's physical condition. He placed his hand on Suiyu's forehead and transmitted the skills to her. Disciple, this is the way to cultivate awareness. You should practice it first, and I will teach you the rest later. Well, thank you, Master. Finally, he could practice as Suiyu was extremely excited. He sat cross-legged and started practicing on the spot. Unexpectedly, after a while, genetic power was cultivated in Suiyu's body. Such talent shocked Hu Xian. However, this is only what the system calls superior qualifications. What if this was a higher level of qualification? Buzz. There was a subtle sound inside Suiyu's body, and she entered the genetic realm. At this time, things seemed to be on the right track. A scene that shocked Hu Xian appeared. Countless colorful genetic powers were actually rushing towards the broken moon. Hu Xian discovered that the genetic power of these various lineages actually came from the countless corpses here. All of them poured into Suiyu's body, causing Suiyu's cultivation to soar like a rocket. Such an improvement was like cheating, and even Hu Xian was shocked. After figuring it out, he smiled bitterly and felt a little envious of Suiyu's luck. The comprehensive training method is to cultivate the genetic power of the entire system. Here are corpses of creatures of all kinds, at least at the God King level. Even though they are very old, there is still some genetic power in their bones. It is a blessed place for Suiyu to practice here. Seeing that Suiyu had entered the state of cultivation, Hu Xian exchanged for advanced materials and set up a formation around her to protect her. And he looked around and finally chose a direction to leave. I have to see if I can encounter some more opportunities here. As we walked along the way, we saw mostly corpses, but also quite a few magical weapons and sharp blades of various levels. With a slight exclamation, Hu Xian walked to a small grass the size of a thumb. The ordinary gray grass exudes a strong smell of death. As a chaos-level genius doctor, he is extremely familiar with all kinds of plant medicinal materials. It's unbelievable that this is a rare death grass that only grows in hell. System, strengthen a space for me to grow death grass. A limit of death is life, so this death grass, although named death grass, is actually a life-saving grass that can revive flesh and blood and bones. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully strengthening the living space of the death grass. Unlimited strengthening points without consumption. Only then were the corpses around the death grass transferred into the space. Having harvested a plant of death grass, Hu Xian became even more excited. Search everywhere in the canyon and in the tombs, leaving no corner unsearched. When passing by a huge skeleton that looked like it evolved from a flower, I discovered the flower fairy. There was a powerful aura fluctuation in his body, and his physique, cultivation and other aspects were improving rapidly. Apparently, the flower fairy got her chance. Buzz. The space trembled violently. Then a powerful, devastating aura burst out from the flower's skeleton, pressing towards Hu Xian. Hu Xian was shocked to the extreme. He understood that the flower skeleton thought that he was going to harm his successor, so it wanted to deal with him. I subconsciously wanted to leave, only to find that I was oppressed and unable to move. It is extremely shocking that the skeleton of this flower is so terrifying. Its genetic realm when it was alive must have definitely surpassed that of the God King. Buzz. The space trembled again, and a murderous intent came, which was extremely dangerous. Chapter 604, Awakening the Dragon Bloodline. Stop it. Grandpa, he is my husband. The figure of the flower fairy suddenly appeared. The destructive force finally stopped. Hu Xian was drenched in cold sweat and he almost died. I thought my skills were enough to run rampant here, but I didn't expect that a random flower skeleton could kill me. Boom! There was a turbulent aura, which violently knocked Hu Xian flying. It's over 100 meters away. When he stopped, Hu Xian found himself unable to move again. The body was moved uncontrollably by a force and finally entered a skeleton. The skeleton was so huge that Huaxian didn't know what kind of creature it was. You actually have the aura of a dragon? Are you from my dragon clan? An extremely ancient voice sounded in Huaxian's mind. Huaxian was totally confused. He was a human and the king of humans. So how did he become a dragon? Before Huaxian had a chance to ask, two irresistible forces completely enveloped him. One wrapped around his body. The other wrapped around his soul. A strange feeling arises, which cannot be explained. Then, the blood began to boil, as if something was about to burst out of the blood. The soul was the same, it began to mutate. This scene shocked Huaxian, who was stunned and didn't understand what was going on. Ding, congratulations to the host, the dragon bloodline and dragon soul are awakening. The system prompt sound made Huaxian understand what happened. Then he was extremely surprised, awakening the dragon bloodline and dragon soul. Was this also a chance for him to inherit the legacy? And I felt that the changes in my body and soul were becoming more and more significant. I discovered that my soul was actually beginning to transform into a dragon. The skeleton of the body has also changed. Ding, congratulations to the host. The dragon clan has reached the God King level. Directly at the God King level. Huaxian was extremely shocked. And this has not yet been fully awakened. Even so, Huaxian discovered that he seemed to be a dragon. Suddenly I remembered that there was a legend in my country. The descendants of the dragon. Now it seems that his dragon bloodline is related to the descendants of the dragon. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the awakening of the dragon bloodline and obtained the cultivation of the divine emperor. God Emperor? Huaxian was stunned with shock. Just by awakening a bloodline, he actually possessed the cultivation level of a divine emperor. It took me a long time to come back to my senses and find that the mysterious power that restrained me had disappeared. He stepped his feet into the huge skeleton and moved gently. Click. A huge dragon skeleton turned into ashes at this moment. Huaxian disappeared from the spot in an instant. He looked at himself and breathed a sigh of relief when he found that he was still in human form. Looking at the soul, it has indeed turned into a dragon soul. I don't know if I can still turn into a human soul. With just a thought, the dragon soul turned into a human soul. While feeling the changes in the body, the structure of the skeleton and meridians have changed. Huaxian had an absurd idea that he could really turn into a dragon. Control the soul and turn it into a human soul. An idea turns into a dragon. The body changes rapidly, and there is a feeling of being stretched. In the blink of an eye, it actually turned into a dragon 1,000 feet long. He exuded astonishing dragon power, and every move he made carried the power to destroy everything. Shocked to the extreme. System, what is my cultivation level in dragon form? Huaxian had guessed it, but couldn't believe it. Bing. Congratulations to the host, you are in dragon form. And can unleash the combat power of the dragon emperor God Emperor. Yes. Huaxian was so scared that he took a deep breath. This opportunity was so great that it directly gave him the combat power of a God Emperor. He wasn't even a God King before, but now his combat power has spanned several major realms. With such combat power, even if it is a real continent, it can be considered confident. Transformation. He silently recited these two words in his mind, and his huge body turned into a human form in the blink of an eye. Huaxian was smiling, his excitement indescribable. When preparing to leave, I discovered that there seemed to be something calling me from under the ashes. Very faint. Huaxian quickly threw away the ashes, and then saw a basketball-sized bead emitting a faint glow. My body trembled. This is actually a dragon ball. Unfortunately, this dragon ball is full of cracks. Pick up the dragon ball. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained the rare item. The dragon ball. Repairing the dragon ball will increase your dragon realm by 1 level. Huaxian's body trembled in shock. Now the human-formed dragon clan has reached the divine emperor realm. If it is further upgraded, it will directly become the divine emperor. And in the dragon form, wouldn't it be the realm of God? This dragon ball must be repaired. Unfortunately, there is a question mark where the system repair method is, and the notes behind it do not allow you to view them. He took several deep breaths to suppress his excitement and continued searching for treasure. I was thinking, if I encounter a few more opportunities, will I be able to take off directly? Roar. A loud roar. An extremely strong sense of danger suddenly loomed. It was accompanied by a dark aura that could destroy the world. Dragonization. Huaxian instantly transformed into his strongest state. Roar. A soul-like creature that looked like a huge fish actually swallowed him in one gulp. Huaxian felt that he was completely suppressed in dragon form. He also recognized that thing. It was actually the terrifying Kun. He quickly changed back to human form, although he was also suppressed by the powerful aura. It was not as strong as the oppression in dragon form. Even so, I still couldn't move. He could only watch helplessly as the Kun swallowed him. Only then did I realize how dangerous this place was and how insignificant I was here. Boom. There was a loud explosion, and just when Huaxian thought he was in danger and dead, a bird as big as the Dapeng swallowed the huge and arrogant Khan in one gulp. Huaxian stared at the big bird in amazement. The big bird just glanced at him and flew away. Huaxian took a deep breath. I couldn't even recognize what kind of creature that big bird that looked like a rock was. It's extremely dangerous here, let's get started. Only then did they realize that the soul mark on everyone had lost its effect. I started to feel a little worried. Just go find everyone. Human, come here, come here. An ethereal figure came from a very far distance. Realizing that this might be a strong human, Huaxian took a deep breath and walked towards the place where the sound came from. As for the others, it is not easy to find them in a short time. Besides, everyone has their own opportunities and destiny. We can only pray that they will not encounter danger. The calling voice kept lingering in Huaxian's ears. As the distance gets closer, it becomes clearer. Along the way, although the skeleton became larger and larger and the aura it emitted became more and more terrifying, for some unknown reason, it did not cause any trouble to Huaxian. However, Huaxian felt that countless residual consciousness were looking at him. If I think about it carefully, it might be the summons from that powerful human that made these creatures dare not touch themselves. I am even more curious about what kind of terrifying existence the human race is. Chapter 605. Those who survive a great disaster will surely have good fortune in the future. Holy light shone from afar, illuminating Huaxian's way forward. This caused the residual souls that were looking at him to instantly converge. Huaxian felt that these guys were trembling and were extremely frightened. Stepping on the holy light, he felt that his body and soul were sublimated. It was an incomparably comfortable feeling that made Huaxian almost roar out loud. He quickened his pace and walked towards the end where the holy light was. The closer you get, the stronger the holy light becomes. And you feel like your body and mind are being baptized. Those whose cultivation realms were lower than the God King level were actually improving madly under such circumstances. This situation shocked Huaxian. I never thought that improving my cultivation would be so easy. System, what's going on? The system did not respond. Huaxian was shocked. How long has the system grown? What kind of horrible existence is the human race that summoned him? Getting closer. Huaxian couldn't wait to look over. Trying hard to see clearly, but all he could see was a vast expanse of white. The more you want to see clearly, the less clear it is. It's really driving you crazy. When passing through the holy light behind him disappeared. The scene before him terrified Huaxian. This turned out to be a dark hydra. There is a holy talisman stuck on each of the 9 bone heads. And at this moment, the holy talisman is about to burn out. Huaxian had a strong bad premonition that the holy talisman was completely burned out and he was afraid that something big was going to happen. And that holy light was actually burst out by 9 holy talismans. And its purpose seemed to be to attract himself to deal with the dark 9-headed hydra. But how can I deal with this hydra? His intuition told him that this dark hydra, even if it turned into a skeleton, was still extremely terrifying. Subconsciously, I wanted to turn around and run away. He realized that he couldn't move. He looked down at himself and saw that his whole body was filled with black air. It seemed that the 9 holy talismans were about to be completely burned out. Huaxian knew that there was no way he could deal with the skeleton of the dark hydra. If I don't want a chance to escape now, I'm afraid even my soul won't have a chance to escape. So Huaxian transformed into a dragon and made a crazy decision. Self-destructs. Boom. The God Emperor self-destructed, creating an incredibly terrifying force. System, revive me to a safe place. Waste the last chance of resurrection. Fortunately, the system responded and resurrected him to a place far away from here. In a very far place. Transparent eyes. Huaxian used his transparent eyes to see through layers of obstacles and saw the dark hydra. I saw a shocking scene. The 9 holy talismans that were about to be exhausted actually merged their last strength into the power of his self-destructs. And then all of them bombarded the body of the dark hydra. Boom boom. With a loud bang, all the bones and residual souls within 1,000 miles were destroyed by the explosion. Huaxian was stunned with shock. After a while, the dust settled and Huaxian stared at the location of the dark hydra. 1 to 8 heads were blown to pieces. There was another head. And although half of it was blown off, it did not seem to destroy the dark hydra. At this moment, Huaxian inexplicably had a crazy idea. He must destroy the remains and soul of the dark hydra. Horrified, his body unexpectedly rushed towards the dark hydra uncontrollably. It's so weird. System, I want to make a wish and draw a lottery for a chance to be resurrected. Huaxian shouted loudly. Ding, the chance of resurrection is a heaven-defying reward. And the winning rate of ordinary lottery wishes is only 1. Huaxian was dumbfounded. He thought that with an 80 winning rate, he would have the ability to be resurrected infinitely. Unexpectedly, the chance of winning the resurrection opportunity is only 1%. System, what are the chances of winning the intermediate lottery wish? Ding, the winning rate of the intermediate lottery wish is 5. Huaxian is going crazy. This 5 consumes 10 chances of winning a normal wish. It is only 5, on average. It is not as high as the 10 chance of winning a normal wish. The situation is now critical, and Huaxian has no choice but to take a chance on winning the prize and getting resurrected. He didn't think he could survive the Dark Hydra with only half a head left. System, I want to make a wish to draw a lottery for 10 chances to be resurrected. Ding, the host consumed 100 ordinary lottery opportunity fragments, and made a wish for 10 lottery revival opportunities. Of the 1 chance of winning each time, unfortunately, I didn't win. Xin was always bitter. It turned out that the 1 chance of winning was too small. System, I want to wish for 32 chances to draw lottery and be resurrected. Xin went all out and used all the opportunities to make a wish and won a lottery. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have spent 420 pieces of lottery opportunity fragments to wish for 32 draws and received a chance to revive. Xin breathed a sigh of relief. Although it took 42 chances to draw the lottery, saving one's life is more important than anything else. Slowly speaking, everything happened in the blink of an eye. Discouraged, he returned to Dark Hydra once again. Everything around it turned to ashes, leaving only half of the Dark Hydra's head and huge body. An extremely powerful suction force was about to suck Huaxian's soul out. This situation is extremely dangerous. Transform into a dragon. Huaxian transformed into a dragon again. Self-destructs. A breath of destruction erupted. The Dark Hydra, which had just experienced its own self-destructs, was actually frightened. After all, the human self-explosion just now caused him to lose 8.5 heads, and this time the self-explosion might really destroy him. So he instantly turned into the extremely hard stone ground under his feet. Huaxian was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect that the indescribably powerful Dark Hydra would be scared away by its own self-destructs. He quickly gave up on self-destructs. When he turned around and tried to escape, he noticed that the big hole left by the Dark Hydra's escape route had disappeared. It was so magical that Huaxian bravely stayed and took the risk to examine it carefully. Nothing was found. But it is also certain that the Dark Hydra will never appear again. Looking around, there are ashes everywhere. Looking into the distance, Huaxian took a deep breath and walked over. Not long after walking, Huaxian was stunned by the scene in front of him. Countless treasures of materials. It is true that those who survive a great disaster will be blessed in the future. There are patches of death grass here. Almost all the treasures in his mind are here. I didn't expect that behind the Dark Hydra, there was such a precious land. If you think about it carefully, if it weren't for good luck and the chance to be resurrected, other creatures would probably not have the chance to come here. It seems that these treasures were left by the Dark Hydra for its own use. Unexpectedly, I ended up getting the better of myself. Huaxian took a few deep breaths to suppress his inner excitement and frantically swept through the entire treasure land. It took a full quarter of an hour to complete the sweep. You know, he is now at the Divine Emperor realm, and it took him a quarter of an hour to sweep here, which shows how huge the spiritual materials and treasures here are. I was excited for a while. Huaxian took out 2 bodies. Chapter 606, Pregnancy in Seconds. It was Shuang Fei Yan and Yan Ws Huang. One of them faked his death due to soul reasons, and the other died due to a curse. Now, Huaxian has obtained all the materials to save the 2 people, so he decided to save them. First is Yan Ws Huang. Take out the Star Soul Sand, Soul Spirit Stone, and other precious materials and start treatment. I'm passed by minute, about 2 hours. Yan Ws Huang's eyebrows trembled slightly, and his fingers began to move. Another quarter of an hour passed and he weakly opened his eyes. Seeing Huaxian still casting spells to heal him, he looked at him curiously. Half an hour later Huaxian stopped. Shuang Fei Yan's condition gradually improved. Huaxian said, "You have just recovered, you need to recover slowly. Don't be impatient." After saying that, he took out the materials and walked to Shuang Fei Yan. He used another set of superb medical skills to treat Shuang Fei Yan. About 4 hours, Shuang Fei Yan, whose situation was different, actually started coughing. Then he opened his eyes. He also looked at Huaxian with curiosity. "Practice your skills and recover slowly," Huaxian said calmly. Although both of them are beautiful women, she is surrounded by so many beautiful women that she has become immune to them. Shuang Fei Yan nodded slightly, then used her energy to recover. The 2 of them practiced to recover. And Huaxian became bored. He has already looted everything here, so there is nothing to treasure hunt for. All we can do is wait patiently. Just at this moment, a strange smell came from the stone wall not far away. Huaxian looked over curiously. Seeing the movement, he became nervous again, worried that it was the return of the Dark Hydra. Tensely alert. After a while, a graceful figure walked out from the stone wall. He has a great figure, but unfortunately he is a stone man. She looked at Huaxian and met his gaze. Huaxian looked at it curiously. And his eyes couldn't help but fall on places he shouldn't be looking at. I thought if I took this stone man as my wife, how would she be able to have children? Click, click. A series of intensive cracking sounds came from the stone man's body. Dense cracks appeared all over the body. The stone man took a step forward. Boom, boom, boom. The stone fragments on his body kept falling to the ground, revealing the jade white skin underneath. It emits a faint silver light and looks a little strange. The stone fragments on his face fell off first, and a peerless face emitting silver light came into Huaxian's sight. So beautiful that he was stunned. The stone man was getting closer and closer to him. The stone debris on his body had almost fallen off. Huaxian's gaze subconsciously fell on the place where he shouldn't be looking. There is no difference between him and a normal person, but his temptation is extremely strong. The stone man had come to Huaxian, less than a step away, and looked at Huaxian curiously. Then he reached out and touched Huaxian's face. It feels soft and cool to the touch. A feeling that is hard to describe. Huaxian's breathing became rapid. His hands were raised uncontrollably and placed on the stone man's chest. I thought it would be hard, but it turned out to be so soft and elastic. My nostrils felt hot and blood started flowing out. The stone man looked at it curiously, and reached out to touch the blood from Huaxian's nose. Boom! A red light burst out. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have been recognized by the stone man Shiryuaya. And you have been rewarded with a female host system repair fragment. Ding! Congratulations to the host for collecting 9 pieces of the heroine system repair fragments. The heroine system repair is complete. Immediately, all the heroines around me who could be bound appeared in my mind. The strange thing is that the previous heroines are not on the binding list. Ding! The previously bound heroine needs the host to pursue her again. And the affinity must reach 100 before the binding can continue. I actually need to rebind them. Well, I will bind them when I get back. There is no rush to bind the heroine now. Looking at Shiryuaya in front of him, Huaxian was about to take action. Ding! 1 minute countdown for consumption. Ask. 605,958. Ria, do you have anything you can sell me? Sui Ria was startled. Then, as Huaxian stared in shock, he reached out and grabbed his heart. Then she pulled out a colorful heart and handed it to Huaxian with a pale face. Huaxian was stunned. But the mission time is coming. No time to think too much. Took over Shiryuaya's heart. Exchange for a demon card and give it to Shiryuaya to drip blood on it to recognize him as the master. The stone man's blood is actually white. After dripping blood to recognize the owner, Huaxian quickly transferred the money. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 4,000 demon crystals within 10 hours. And received 3 lucky draw opportunities and fragment rewards. Ding! A new task is to complete a critical hit of 3 times 120 trillion demon crystals within 1 hour. If the task fails, the host will be killed. If the task is completed, 3 lucky draw opportunity fragments will be awarded. Huaxian quickly put the heart back into Shiryuaya's hands. Shiryuaya gradually recovered. She threw herself into Huaxian's arms, held his head, and started biting it actively. Huaxian couldn't bear it any longer, took that step, and fought with Shiryuaya. A huge noise startled Shuang Feiyan and Yen Was Huang, who were just recovering. They looked at each other in silence, then got up with difficulty and walked away. 5 hours later, the two ended the fight. At this time, Shiryuaya's stomach was visibly swelling. Huaxian was stunned. Shiryuaya was very shy. After a while, her belly became as big as that of a pregnant woman in her 10th month. Ria, what's going on with you? Huaxian asked in shock. Honey, this is our child, I'm pregnant. Huaxian was so shocked that he couldn't speak. Are you pregnant already? Shiryuaya explained. We, the Stoneman tribe, are originally infertile and rely on splitting to reproduce. But husband, you are the human king, you can be with any person of the opposite race or sex. So I am pregnant with your child. Huaxian said, speechless lie. But, shouldn't it take 10 months to get pregnant? Isn't this too fast? Don't we stone men reproduce by splitting up? They grow very fast. However, the one who is at risk now is your child, husband. I'm afraid it will take 10 years or even longer for the child to be born. The world is full of wonders, and Huaxian has accepted this fact. Touched Shui Ria's belly. Bang! I didn't expect that the baby in my belly would kick me over. Huaxian had a look of astonishment on his face. Not only did she get pregnant in seconds, but the child was also so wild. Shiryuaya smiled and explained. The child is angry that you don't understand anything? What the hell? Could the child be highly intelligent? Can he think right after being conceived? Huaxian felt that he was unable to react to what he had learned. Yes, our child will have the wisdom of an adult when he is conceived. Little thing, you still dare to go against your father. Believe it or not, I will seal you up. The divine emperor level cultivation pressed forward. Shiryuaya hurriedly said, Husband, please put away your pressure quickly. It will scare the child. Chapter 607, Huge Harvest. Little thing, you still dare to be mean to your father. If you dare to do it again, I will seal you away. Huaxian said angrily. Thinking, I have the system, so why can I deal with you? Okay, you are the father of the child, why you always threaten your child? The child said that when he grows up, he will beat you. Shiryuaya said. And I will make sure he never grows up. Shiryuaya smiled silently. Yanws Huang and Shuang Feyan walked over and looked at Shiryuaya curiously. It's amazing, I got pregnant right after my husband and I finished our work. Shuang Feyan said in surprise. He couldn't help but reach out and touch Shiryuaya's belly out of curiosity. The same is true for Yanws Huang. Huaxian said, Are you all okay? If so, let's leave here first. Huaxian took Shiryuaya away. After all, she was a pregnant woman and deserved special treatment. Hey, are we your wives? Yanws Huang asked. Huaxian said without even turning his head. Nonsense, you are not my wife, I will save you. Husband. I didn't walk far before I came across the Dragonfly Crescent. At this moment, the terrifying aura of Dragonfly Crescent was turbulent, and it was obvious that she had already reached the peak of super godhood. She excitedly threw herself into Huaxian's arms. He simply ignored Shiryuaya and the others. Honey, have you noticed any changes in me? Yes, of course I noticed. My baby has become even more beautiful. Oh, I meant cultivation. My cultivation has become stronger, reaching the peak of the super god level. My wife is so amazing. Of course not, you can't guess what I encountered. What? The ancestor of our Dragonfly clan passed on his inheritance to me, saying that my body was too weak and sealed my cultivation. Otherwise, I would be stronger. Congratulations, wife. Dragonfly Crescent then looked at the others curiously. When she found Shiryuaya, she was extremely shocked. Husband, whose wife is he? Don't you mind her big belly? I thought to myself, husband, your taste is becoming more and more heavy. Huaxian rolled his eyes and said, What nonsense? Shiryuaya is my wife and the baby in her belly is also mine. As for why she got pregnant, Huaxian had to explain patiently. Then where did these two come from? He said, pointing at Yanws Huang and Shuang Feyan. They followed me a long time ago, but they just woke up now due to special reasons. Hubby, I feel something calling me, I'll go take a look. Yanws Huang suddenly said. I felt it too, Shuang Feyan also said. After saying that, he left. Huaxian did not stop them, thinking that this was their chance. Shiryuaya and King Tingyuya each held half of the pole, holding Huaxian's arm as they walked forward. After a while, he met Fei, who was even more terrifying, having reached the level of God King. Husband. Wow, Sister Fei, what kind of opportunity did you encounter? You are actually stronger than me. Fei said excitedly. A powerful human passed on the inheritance to me. Hey, she is? Pointing at Shiryuaya, he asked. Huaxian had to explain again. Along the way, I met everyone one after another. When we finally returned to the landing site, many people were waiting there. Huaxian discovered that each of them had obtained an opportunity, and the worst one had reached the peak cultivation level of Super God level 100. Those who are lucky are at the level of God King. Everyone who entered this Devil's Cave gained a lot this time. Hubby, who is she? After greeting Huaxian, everyone's attention was attracted by Shiryuaya's big belly. Huaxian had no choice but to explain. After hearing the explanation, everyone looked around Shiryuaya with great curiosity. They soon became friends. Hubby, the sisters are all here. Should we go out? Jiryuan still asked. Wait a minute. There are two more. There are two more. They looked at each other. Honey, is everyone here? There are also two of my former wives who have been in a state of suspended animation. They obtained treasures here, and I brought them back to life. I felt something just now, I should leave when there is an opportunity. Wait a minute. By the way, there are a lot of treasures here. Let's hurry up and look for them. Honey, I know there's a treasure there. I know that too, husband. A group of female protagonists dragged Huaxian away. What follows is a long journey to find the treasure. There are really a lot of treasures of various kinds. 6 hours later, Huaxian and his men were like bandits entering a village. Relying on their powerful strength, they searched the entire magic pit. Everything of some value went into the cyst. Husband. Yan Ws Huang and Xuan Fi Yan both arrived. The evil resentment was still there and they all looked over suddenly. Seeing that she was just an ordinary beauty, he breathed a sigh of relief and felt that his status would not be affected. The pressure from both of them was no less than that of the peak super god level 100. And it was obvious that they had both obtained a good inheritance. Huaxian discovered that each of them had a seal on their body. It was always because the inheritance was too powerful to be carried. So they were sealed by the inheritor. Master, look here. Sui Yu's surprised voice came. Everyone looked over curiously. Although he quickly pulled away a bunch of troubles, he actually revealed a 5-pointed star formation. It is worth mentioning that Sui Yu practiced the skills taught by Huaxian. He was taken away by a mysterious force and also gained a super powerful inheritance. Because his body is too weak, the seal is the strongest. But he also has the cultivation level of a true god. At such a young age, such cultivation would be enough to shock everyone in the outside world. Husband, what kind of formation is this? Ed Spirit Jusheng answered for Huaxian. This should be a teleportation array judging from the aura. It should be a teleportation array of the evil race. But it is severely damaged and cannot be used. Can it be repaired? The evil spirit Yizu asked expectantly. The teleportation array of the evil tribe. She is a member of the evil tribe, so maybe she will have a great opportunity. Ed Spirit Jusheng observed for a while and said, it will take at least a god-level formation master to repair it. The evil spirit Yizu looked at Huaxian and asked, by almighty husband, what about you, can you repair it? Huaxian smiled slightly and said, isn't this a piece of cake? System strengthen my strongest formation skill. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the chaos level formation skill has been strengthened successfully. Unlimited strengthening points without consumption. The evil spirit Yizu was ecstatic. She hugged Huaxian's arm, pressed her chest against Huaxian, and asked excitedly, really, husband, can you repair this teleportation array? He almost pushed Huaxian down on the spot. I can't stand it anymore. Crescent Dragonfly on the side deliberately spoke loudly. Huaxian held the evil spirit Yizu in his arms and said, of course. After taking enough advantage, he took out the materials, walked to the broken formation, and began to repair it under everyone's gaze. Everyone is very curious, is my husband really so omnipotent and can even repair the teleportation array? They were shocked when Huaxian took action. Without any pause, as easy as eating and drinking, the formation was gradually repaired and emitted a dazzling halo. Chapter 6 Thindradate, Clan Land. Buzz. The space trembled violently. The formation has been repaired. Oh my god. Everyone opened their mouths in shock. Ed Spirit Jusheng looked at Huaxian and said in shock, husband, you are at least a super god level formation master, right? Huaxian grinned and said, yes, honey, got. Honey, can I use this teleportation array? The evil spirit Yizu asked impatiently. Can. Yeah, thank you, husband. She kissed Huaxian on the face and rushed into the teleportation array. Huayuan, come here, let's go together. Huaxian said speechless lie. Why are you in such a hurry? Aren't you afraid of getting into danger? Honey, will you come with us? The evil spirit Yizu rushed over again and pulled Huaxian into the formation. Huaxian was first into the formation. The others followed in. So everyone entered the formation. Husband, how do I activate the formation? The evil spirit Yizu asked anxiously, his intuition telling him that his great opportunity would come after the formation. Huaxian said, see those big slots? Just put demon crystals in them. The more the better. Everyone puts the demon crystal into the card slot together. This directional teleportation array immediately emitted a dazzling halo, enveloping all of them. I felt my body sink and then disappeared into the formation. Then the stars disappeared rapidly, and the space was shrinking according to a strange rule. When his eyes suddenly lit up, he was already standing in another formation. This place is desolate and seems no one has used it for a long time. The evil spirits Yizu and Ziyuan were still looking around, both stunned. Huaxian noticed and asked, what's wrong with you? Jiryuan was still speechless and said, husband, is this the back mountain of our clan? Your clan's land? That means we have returned to the Red Moon Star continent and come to the headquarters of your Ziyuan clan? Huaxian asked in surprise. The evil spirit Yizu also reacted and said speechless lie. I thought this formation passage was the mysterious evil tribe. But I didn't expect it to be back home. Huaxian thought of the mission to subdue the evil clan. So he said, since you are all here, let's go check on your clan. Boom. A loud noise came from the bottom of the mountain. Then a rough figure came over. The evil clan dared to collude with the human race and harm other races. Today is the end of the evil clan. This is the voice of the demons. The evil spirit Yizu exclaimed. Hubby, it seems that after the news of you and me in Border City spread, The demons joined other races to attack our evil clan. Ziyuan still said inferently, it seems that we came back at the right time. Although his strength has been raised to super god level 100, Ziyuan is still full of confidence. I think your Ziyuan clan should not have been destroyed. Otherwise Suiyu would not have discovered the formation that teleported to your Ziyuan clan, said the dead spirit Zhu Sheng. Huaxian said calmly. Let's go and take a look. He took the lead, and the others followed behind, flying towards the foot of the mountain. Flying all the way down. I have to say that the ancestral land of the Ziyuan tribe is huge. The back mountain is 100 miles away from the tribe's land at the foot of the mountain. Boom! Another loud noise was heard. An angry voice came. Demon clan, don't go too far, my evil clan is with the human race. If you have the guts, go to Death Island to find them. What's the point of joining forces to bully us? Evil clan, you have colluded with the human race and betrayed the darkness. Today is your doom. Everyone, attack harder, their defense will be broken. Yep, boom boom. Under the joint attack of various ethnic groups. Click, click. Countless cracks appeared in the Ziyuan clan's defense shield. It looked like it was about to break. All ethnic groups were excited. The Ziyuan clan is one of the 5 major clans on the continent. And for them, being able to destroy such a large clan is an honor. Boom! With a loud bang, the defense shield of the Ziyuan clan shattered under the heavy weight. Kill them and rob the evil clan of everything they have. No matter how much they rob, it's theirs. The powerful demon roared and rushed in first. Go ahead. The strong men from all races rushed forward like crazy. Those who robbed more got more, so they were naturally very crazy. Kill them, fight them to death. There are no cowards in my Ziyuan tribe. The ancestor of the Ziyuan tribe roared angrily. Take the lead and kill. He had a determined look as if he was going to make the enemy pay a heavy price even if he died. Buzz. The space trembled. Huaxian and the others appeared above the Ziyuan clan. A faint sense of oppression erupted from Huaxian's body, covering the entire Red Moon Star continent. The terror of the Divine Emperor can be seen from this. Both parties who were about to collide were frightened and trembled. They stopped and looked up at the sky in horror. When they saw that the leader was a human, they were all stunned. And he was extremely terrified. Where did this powerful human being come from? Some people also recognized him and shouted in fear. He is that human, the one who colluded with the evil clan. The people of the Ziyuan tribe also saw Ziyuan Huairan and the evil spirit Yizu beside Huaxian. The two left Huaxian and slowly came to the side of the tribesmen. Hello, my fellow tribesmen. Zhiyuan still greeted them with a smile. What else are you going to do here? We, the Ziyuan tribe, were almost killed by you. A middle-aged human accused angrily. Who wants to destroy our evil clan? Asked the evil spirit Yizu coldly. Are you blind and can't you see? The middle-aged man shouted angrily. The evil spirit Yizu frowned, and with a wave of her hand, an invisible force turned into a big hand and pinched the tribesman in her hand. This tribe member was terrified, feeling that if the evil spirit Yizu wanted to, she could kill him with just a little effort. The other members of the Ziyuan tribe were also terrified to the extreme. The ancestor of the Ziyuan clan asked in horror, Descendant, what realm are you in now? The evil spirit Yizu said calmly, God King. Is. Everyone in the audience took a deep breath. The controlled member of the Ziyuan clan has reached the 50th level of super god cultivation. It is impossible for ordinary people to take him down easily. The evil spirit Yizu, however, took him down with just a few moves, saying that he was the God King, and no one doubted it. When the people of various tribes, led by the demon tribe, heard this, they were terrified to the extreme. The Ziyuan clan has powerful God Kings, and they are now here to kill the Ziyuan clan. What will happen next? It's unimaginable. Huaxian asked calmly, my 2 wives, how are you going to deal with these guys? 2 wives? Everyone was shocked when they heard Huaxian address the evil spirits Yizu and Ziyuan Huairan. If Huaxian hadn't exuded an aura of destruction, he would have started to fight back. You two, mother and daughter, are actually the ancestor of the Ziyuan clan asked in disbelief. The evil spirit Yizu said, it's still not mine, it's just the essence and blood of my body. Now we are sisters, and I am also Huaxian's woman. Ziyuan still said to Huaxian, husband, you can deal with them however you say. Chapter 609. What about this? Huaxian said, then how can we deal with it? Just kill them directly. The demons should be eradicated directly. Let your evil clan control the Red Moon Star continent. Really? The ancestor of the Ziyuan clan asked excitedly. His biggest wish is that the Ziyuan clan can join him on the Red Moon continent. Huaxian nodded and said, it is definitely true, but the Ziyuan clan will also be under my command from now on. This. The ancestor of the Ziyuan clan hesitated, thinking that this would mean that their Ziyuan clan was also under control. The key is to follow a human being, which is equivalent to betraying the darkness. If the Dark Lord knew about this, the consequences would be disastrous. The strong men of the demon clan were very angry. One person roared, "Ewan Race, you are too arrogant. Do you really think you can defeat us?" Boom. He actually crushed a rune, and a 5-pointed star appeared in the air. This turned out to be a portable teleportation array. The Red Moon Star Demon Clan definitely did not have such an advanced thing. It was obviously given to them by their superiors. This is enough to prove the status of the Demon Clan in the Red Moon Star continent. Huaxian and his friends came here via the teleportation array, so they were naturally very familiar with this 5-pointed star. When the Demon Coalition forces saw reinforcements coming, their tense mood immediately relaxed. The look in their eyes when they looked at Huaxian and the others was full of disdain. Huaxian was not in a hurry at all and waited patiently. Seeing this, the others were even less anxious. Only the evil race panicked. Someone shouted, "Evil Spirit Yizu, what are you standing there for?" Before the other strong men arrive, quickly destroy the teleportation array. Who dares to destroy the teleportation array? A majestic and mighty voice came from between heaven and earth. It gives people a sense of oppression from the soul. The next moment, a charming figure wearing armor and surrounded by demonic power appeared in the teleportation array. "Greetings, sir." The various coalition forces led by the demon clan knelt down hurriedly and did not dare to look directly at them for fear of blaspheming the gods. Huaxian looked at this charming woman. She looked weird. Why? Her face was distorted. It gives people a very scary feeling. The strength is average, at the 5th level of God King. Of course, such a realm is absolutely overwhelming for the Red Moon Star continent. Who summoned me here? When he spoke again, his voice was authoritative yet pleasant. It's easy to fall in love with her beautiful voice. The elder of the demon tribe said quickly, "My lord. It's me. I am the ancestor of the Red Moon Star of the demon tribe. A powerful human wanted to destroy our demon tribe, so I had no choice but to summon you here." Human race? Ireful. I remember correctly that the human race of Red Moon Island was suppressed badly. Right? How could there be a powerful person? Sir, this human being is at least at the God King Gene realm. Extremely powerful. I'm afraid he is not from our Red Moon Island. The adults called it Red Moon Island, and the demon clan ancestor could only bear the pain. Be very careful, for fear of offending someone accidentally. A charming woman looked at Huaxian. There were many humans present, but Huaxian was the only one she couldn't see through. Just about to speak, Huaxian asked first, "Girl, I'm curious. What's wrong with your face?" Hearing this, many people who didn't dare to look at this charming woman looked up. It seemed that her scar was touched. The charming woman was extremely angry. Murderous aura burst out instantly, and she disappeared on the spot. The demons looked towards Huaxian happily, hoping that he would be destroyed. The next moment, the whole audience was stunned. The seductive woman herself was also extremely terrified. That's because she was frozen in front of Huaxian. Huaxian just smiled and didn't move. Out of curiosity, he reached out and touched the charming woman's face. "What are you up to?" The seductive woman yelled in anger and despair. Huaxian also explained. A hand has already fallen on the face of the charming woman. The touch was so cold that even those at the Divine Emperor level couldn't help but shiver. Saying congratulations to the host for discovering the extremely frozen ice body. Combining with it will give you the extremely frozen ice attribute. Huaxian's body trembled. He didn't expect that he could get such an opportunity by just meeting a demon woman. The mood suddenly became very good. He stepped into the air, approaching the dazzling woman, almost hugging her in his arms. The whole audience watched this scene, stunned with shock. "Husband, you won't let even this kind of thing go, right?" "I said speechless lie. What else is there that our husband dare not take?" The female protagonists couldn't help but talk about it. Huaxian whispered in the charming woman's ear, "What else can I do? Of course, I want to get you." He hugged her suddenly, and as he waved his hands, the space broke, and he disappeared from everyone's sight while holding her. The whole audience was stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. In the void, Huaxian used his brute force to shatter the devil armor on the enchanting woman, revealing a flawless body. Huaxian was drooling at the sight of things he shouldn't be looking at. "You despicable human, you dare to defile me, you will definitely." Before she could finish the curse, Huaxian had already bit her distorted mouth. Boom! The clothes on their bodies were torn to pieces, and the two men spoke frankly to each other. When one barrier is breached. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have won the first drop of blood of the extremely frozen ice demon Ugly, and obtained the super god level extremely frozen ice attribute. Starting from the super god level, Huaxian was shocked by the powerful attribute of extreme freezing ice. When I reacted, I noticed that the devil's ugly and distorted face had actually returned to normal. The devilish appearance was so stunning that even Hu Xin was stunned. Go to hell. The devil was extremely angry and took this opportunity to launch a sneak attack. Hu Xin sensed the danger and reacted, forcefully suppressing the opponent and launching a fierce attack. 3 hours later, the ugly devil collapsed in Hu Xin's arms. Without any strength to move, Hu Xin chuckled and said, "If you dare to hurt your husband again next time, this will be your punishment." The devil was so ugly that tears were streaming down his face. He was heartbroken. He never dreamed that he would be defiled by a human being. He no longer had the will to live. A violent force erupted from within the body. Hu Xin was depressed. He had conquered her, but she actually wanted to commit suicide. It's not that easy. Relying on his powerful cultivation, he forcibly suppressed the energy of the demon ugly that was about to self-destruct. The demon was so ugly that he couldn't hang himself, and roared angrily, "Despicable, evil human, even if you get my body, you can't get my heart." Hu Xin said, speechless lie, "Is it that difficult to be my woman? You despicable villain, you are raping me. I will never give in. Just look at the benefits you've gained." Hu Xin exchanged it for a mirror and placed it in front of her. The ugly demon who was about to fight back was stunned when he saw himself in the mirror. I asked in disbelief, "Is this me?" He reached out and touched his face, which was as smooth as jade. Hu Xin smiled and said, "Of course it's you. Even so, I will never forgive you. What about this?" Chapter 610, Abundant God Level Rewards. System: exchange human king points for God King level demon gene points. And strengthen demon ugly extreme to God King level 10 for me. After saying that, he stretched out his hand and placed it on the devil's ugly forehead, as if he wanted to give her a blessing and pass on his skills. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have successfully used the human king points to exchange for the God King level demon gene points, and strengthened the demon ugly extreme to the God King level 10. Boom boom boom. At the same time, several explosions came from the ugly demon's body, and his power continued to rise. The devil was so ugly that he was stunned. She was naturally familiar with this feeling of breakthrough in cultivation. Because of this, she broke through 5 levels in succession, and even a small gap was broken through instantly, which stunned her. He stared at Hu Xin in disbelief, doubting whether this was true. Could it be that I was not raped by humans and am now dreaming? He bit his tongue, and after feeling the intense pain, he looked at the human in front of him again. It's true. All of this is true. And my own realm is also real. Subconsciously burst out to the God King level realm. Boom! There was a loud bang and the void shook. That powerful force made her feel invincible. He looked at Hu Xin with murderous intent. Go to hell, you lowly human. A punch hit Hu Xin's head, who was close by. Hu Xin grabbed her fist, easily shattered her burst of divine power, pulled her into his arms and said, "I helped you improve your cultivation level. Do you think you can threaten me?" The devil's ugly body trembled. And then he reacted, feeling very unwilling. Hu Xin smiled and said, "Why are you acting like this? If you follow me, your cultivation can be improved at any time. It is not impossible for you to break through the Divine King realm. Why are you unwilling?" "I just can't accept it. Don't think that sleeping with me and helping me improve my cultivation can offset my anger. I tell you, it's impossible." Hu Xin hugged her tightly and said confidently, "As long as you don't do anything stupid, you will fall in love with me if you follow me for a long time. Let's go out now so that everyone won't be kept waiting." Hu Xin exchanged the sets of clothes, put them on her first, and put them on himself, and then walked out of the void. The people outside saw the turbulence in the space and looked over excitedly. When they saw the extremely ugly demon being dragged out by humans, everyone was stunned. Hu Xin looked at the demons and asked, "Why are you still letting these demons live?" But these demons are scared to death. Looking at the situation, it is clear that the experts I hired were of no use. "Sir, save us." The ancestor of the demon clan quickly asked for help from the demon ugly. No matter what, as long as the adults are still around, they have a chance of survival. After all, they are of the same race. And the ugly demon will never watch them die. He said to Hu Xin, "They are from my demon tribe. If you dare to hurt them, don't even think about me following you." Hearing this, the whole audience was extremely shocked. From the tone of voice, it seems that the strong men from the demon tribe were actually conquered by this human race. This is simply incredible. No matter how powerful the human race is, the demon race shouldn't be conquered by a human race, right? Hu Xin smiled and said, "Since the baby has spoken, let's spare these demons. However, if you want to survive, there is only one way: submit to me, then you will have the final say on Red Moon Island." When the Ziyuan clan heard this, they were terrified to death. Originally Huaxian said that they would control Red Moon Island after destroying the Demon Clan. Now if the Demon Clan really surrenders, what will be their status? Human race, I will answer the conditions you mentioned before. Without waiting for the evil clan ancestor to finish his words, the Demon Clan elder, who wanted to save his life, quickly said, "Okay, we agree to your terms." Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay, serving Red Moon Island is still the strongest among the demons." After that, he looked at the ancestor of the evil clan and asked, "What do you want to say?" The ancestor of the evil clan felt extremely bitter and regretted very much that he did not agree directly just now. "What do you mean? Do you think I have nothing to do?" Huaxian said angrily. The sudden change in tone and aura scared the people of the Ziyuan clan to death. They all looked at their own elder, hoping that he would stop talking nonsense. The clan elder was so heartbroken he missed a great opportunity because of a moment's hesitation. He said bitterly, "My evil clan is also willing to submit to you, sir." Huaxian nodded in satisfaction and said, "Okay. In that case, you evil clans and demon clans." Without waiting for Huaxian to finish his words, representatives of other ethnic groups also expressed their views. "My Taishan people are willing to submit to you, sir. My Zhaoyilong clan is willing to submit to you, sir. My Witch clan is willing to submit to you, sir." The 5 major forces on Hongyu Island all announced their submission to Huaxian. How could other small and medium-sized forces dare not express their stance? In an instant, Red Moon Island fell into Huaxian's pocket. This was something Huaxian himself did not expect. Okay, from now on you will be my subordinate. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task of subduing the evil clan and receiving the God-level gift package reward. Huaxian's body trembled violently with excitement. What a God-level gift package! The system has opened a God-level gift package for me. I am looking forward to seeing what good rewards will be included in the God-level gift package. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have opened the God-level gift package and received a Super God Barrier Breaking Pill reward. 10 million Brilliant People King Points reward, 1000 Primary Lottery Opportunity Fragments reward, and a God King Barrier Breaking Pill exclusive to the heroine. After receiving the award, Huaxian was stunned. Each one of them is priceless. I didn't expect the God-level gift package to be so rich. It took Huaxian a while to calm down his excitement. And he looked at the various tribes and said, "Since you are all under my command, you deserve a reward." Hearing this, all the tribes became excited and curious about what Huaxian was going to reward them with. "Leaders of all ethnic groups, please stand up." Everyone trembled and was a little scared. But he still stood up. The leader was undoubtedly the elder of the Demon Clan. Huaxian pointed a finger at his forehead and said, "System, raise his cultivation to the level of Divine King for me." Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have used the Human King points to raise the cultivation of the Demon Clan elder at the 58th level of Super God to the 1st level of God King. Boom boom boom. In the eyes of outsiders, the cultivation level of the Demon Clan elder has made rapid progress and breakthroughs from the 58th level of Super God. This left countless creatures around stunned and shocked. After a long time coming back to their senses, the leaders of each tribe were extremely excited. The reward from this human master was actually an initiation of skills to improve their cultivation. Rumble. Thunder surged in the 9 heavens, and catastrophe fell. That was actually the tribulation of the Divine King. The demons are naturally stronger than humans and many other races. And the catastrophe after they break through a great realm is also extremely terrifying. The advantage is that the combat power after the breakthrough is much stronger than that of the same level. It was such a catastrophe that Huaxian raised his hand and a bolt of lightning struck him. He actually used the breath of Soul Divine Thunder to imitate the breath of Soul Thunder above the Sea of Death, and issued orders, hoping to make the thunder punishment fade away. Chapter 611, Subjugation. Huaxian just wanted to give it a try. Unexpectedly, the fierce thunder and lightning in the sky could actually be dispelled by his finger. This scene shocked all ethnic groups into numbness. Even the Devil Ugly was shocked beyond words and became extremely curious about Huaxian's identity. A realm of the Demon Clan elder successfully broke through to the level of God King. The terrifying God King's might was turbulent and oppressive to the entire place. Huaxian stopped. The demon ancestor suddenly opened his eyes. His excitement could not be described in words. Fall to the ground. Ding dong. He actually knelt down heavily in front of Huaxian. Boom boom boom. He kowtowed repeatedly and shouted excitedly. "I kneel down to thank the master for promoting me. From now on, Demon Hong Gui is willing to serve the master until his death. With his own talent, it would be impossible for him to break through to the God King level in this lifetime." Now, Huaxian allowed him to make breakthroughs one after another with just one finger. This favor was too great. It also made him loyal and obedient. Huaxian said inferently, "It's just a small gift. Second class, follow me in the future if you make great contributions. It is not impossible for you to reach the realm of God King, God Emperor, or even God Emperor. Everyone's body trembled violently and was shocked to the extreme. They were all shocked by Hu Xian's confident courage. I swear to be loyal to you till death. Those leaders of various tribes who had not yet been promoted knelt on the ground excitedly and swore an oath to President Xiao. The subordinates of each tribe quickly knelt down. Hu Xian looked at the leaders and said, "Don't be impatient. All of you should take your heads and come one by one." The ancestor of the Ziyuan clan was the first to rush out. After all, the people from the Ziyuan tribe are Hu Xian's women, so no one has any complaints about this scene. Hu Xian didn't waste any words and kept tapping his forehead. Like the elders of the demon clan, his cultivation began to rise steadily. In less than 3 minutes, his cultivation broke through to the Divine King realm. The same thunder penalty occurred, and Hu Xian still kicked him in the leg. Even if you have seen it once, you will still be shocked when you see it again. Next, the leaders of each tribe came to tiredness one after another. Hu Xian took action one by one and helped them break through. They are all at the level of God King, a realm that they will never reach in their lifetime. At this moment, my loyalty to Hu Xian was engraved into my bones. No matter how powerful the Lord of Darkness is, has he ever helped them improve their cultivation? Know what is the purpose of the path of cultivation? The pursuit of longevity, invincibility and immortality. Since the Dark Lord could not give it to them, but the human race gave it, isn't it the same to follow them? At this time, an inconspicuous white-haired old man stood up and asked, "Human race, are you the human king?" The originally noisy place suddenly became quiet. All creatures' eyes fell on Hu Xian. The leaders of various ethnic groups who were promoted and broken through by Hu Xian also realized it. Apart from the king of the human race, who else has such great ability? Hu Xian nodded and did not deny it. And he looked at a human being, who was considered the strongest person present, with a cultivation level just over 12th level. Hu Xian pointed at him and said, "Come out." The human's body trembled violently. He walked out very excited. Human race Shen Tui pays homage to the human king. The king of the human race, that is the king of their human race. But just a wave of his hand, he can make any creature break through. This is probably something only the strongest king of the human race can do. In this case, won't the human race rise? Hu Xian pointed at him. Just as everyone expected, his cultivation level continued to rise. In a short period of time, he reached the peak of super godhood. Everyone was shocked by this scene and guessed something. Boom boom boom. Sure enough, after breaking through the God King level, his cultivation was still improving and he couldn't stop at all. It didn't stop until it reached the 20th level of Human King. Ding dong. Qian Tiyue knelt heavily in front of Hu Xian. From now on, Red Moon Island will be under your command. This is my token. If anything happens, you can use it to inform me. You have only one mission: train the various tribes, build the strongest army, and wait for combat orders. Qian Tiyue obeys the order. Everyone also heard something from Hu Xian's words, and they might have to follow the adults to fight in all directions in the future. Considering that he is the human king, this seems quite normal. Everyone got excited. Only by fighting can they gain military merit. And only with military merit can they be promoted to the king of men. Hu Xian looked at the leaders of other tribes and said, "You must cooperate with Qian Tiyue Qiang to train the army. If anyone does not follow the rules, all you have to do is keep me in mind and pray sincerely, and I will be able to sense it." Qian Tiyue's body trembled violently. These words are undoubtedly telling everyone to supervise him well. "I obey your command. Qian Tiyue, give me your devil card." Qian Tiyue respectfully handed over his devil card. "By the way, where did you demons get the demon crystals?" Hu Xian asked the ancestor of the demon clan. "Your Majesty, our demon crystal was given to us by our superiors." Hu Xian nodded and started transferring money to Qian Tiyue's card. "Ding, congratulations to the host, you have consumed 120 trillion Relian Eman crystals within 11 hours. And you will receive 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have conquered the Red Moon Star continent of the demon world. The currency is automatically upgraded to the primary currency of the true continent, the Demon Crystal Marrow currency." Hu Xian already knew that the currency of the true continent was divided into 3 major currency systems: low-level magic crystals, primary demon crystal marrows, and intermediate demon crystal kings. Ding, new consumption task. Complete the consumption of 100 demon crystals within 15 days. If the task fails, the host will be killed, and if the task is completed, 10 primary lottery opportunity fragments will be obtained. Sure enough, the consumption currency was updated, and the task time and rewards were all updated. Overall, this is a good thing. However, the demon crystal marrow can only be consumed in the true continent, which means that he must reach the true continent within 15 days to complete the consumption. Ask. My lord, you have so many demon crystals, what are you doing? Qian Tue asked excitedly. Hu Xian said calmly, it makes sense to train the army without spending money. Train the army well for me. Qian Tue obeys the order. Hu Xian looked at the others and said, you all must train well. Go into the battlefield and gain merit. If you need any rewards, you can ask me for them. I will satisfy any request. Kneel down to thank the Lord. Countless people knelt down devoutly towards Hu Xian. Even their own leader has surrendered, how dare they have any second thoughts? Hu Xian nodded in satisfaction and emphasized, I hope you will keep my identity a secret. I understand. Everyone shouted in unison with great momentum. The Red Moon Star continent suddenly became more united than ever before. Hu Xian then nodded in satisfaction, looked at the female protagonists and said, the matter of Red Moon Island has been resolved, and it's time for us to leave. After saying that, he headed towards the back mountain of the Ziyuan clan. Farewell, my lord. All living beings kneel down and bid farewell. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained the almighty faith points of creatures from all races on the Red Moon Star continent. And continue to obtain. Chapter 612, Heading to the True Continent. Hu Xian was overjoyed. This was probably his biggest gain. You know, although the almighty faith points are only limited to the protagonist's use, they can be exchanged for genetic power of any level. Return to the teleportation array with joy. Everyone followed closely and teleported back to the magic pit. Husband, if you can help others improve, can you also help us improve? Asked King Tingyuya. The others also looked at Hu Xian, waiting for his reply. Hu Xian nodded and said, yes. I can help any of you improve, but the best way to improve your cultivation is to practice on your own. Look, without my help, aren't you at least at the peak of super god level 100? This kind of real cultivation that you acquire on your own is the strongest. Well, as the king's women, we really can't be too bad. Dragonfly Crescent said. Naturally, no one else said anything. Husband. Yan Ws Huang, Shuang Fe Yan, and Huang were all waiting nearby. Seeing Hu Xian, they all gathered around. We spent some time together. Wise, we have got our chance, it's time for us to leave. Hu Xian took the lead and left the Devil's Pit. Go directly to the True Continent spaceship landing site. Just arrived at the gate. A loud alarm sounded inside. The guard at the gate's expression changed drastically when he saw them, and he became alert with murderous intent. The next moment, countless powerful men descended from the sky, surrounded Hu Xian and his men. The middle-aged man in the lead looked at everyone and coldly stared at the only male, Hu Xian, and said, you are the ones who are so arrogant. You are from Red Moon Island, and you dare to occupy the landing site of my True Continent spacecraft? Dead Spirit Jusheng had a bad feeling and asked hurriedly, how are our people? Everyone suddenly became worried. At this time, the people on another spaceship from Red Moon Island also arrived and greeted the people from True Continent in a flattering manner. Hello, everyone. Then he looked at Hu Xian and the others with a cold and disdainful look and said, Achi J, Iu and the others, as well as all the rest of you, or killed by the powerful masters from the True Continent. Don't worry, you will be reunited with them soon. Hu Xian's spiritual sense burst out, but as expected, he didn't find anyone. He immediately frowned, looked at the strong men of the True Continent and asked, did you really kill all my subordinates? The young man from the True Continent said disdainfully, so what if I kill him? Not only did we kill them, but we also took special care of some of the pretty girls. Did you know that? The guy didn't finish his evil words before his body exploded. This scene shocked the whole audience. There's no way to tell what happened now. The thing just exploded suddenly. It turned into blood mist and fell to the ground. The people led by the True Continent were the first to react. Their eyes filled with fear. How did the other party attack? Even he didn't notice anything. You know, he is a powerful god king at the 3rd level. Hu Xian asked again, were my people killed by you? No one on the other side dared to speak. If something went wrong, they would die. Who wouldn't be afraid? No one is talking, right? It doesn't matter, I'll kill all of you. Hu Xian is about to take action. Dead Spirit Jusheng stepped forward and said, husband, there is no need for you to take action against these small shrimps. Jusheng, the Indeed Spirit who was originally at the level of God King, has reached the 5th level of God King after gaining an opportunity in the magic pit. Naturally, he is full of confidence. Step by step, he walked towards these powerful people from the True Continent as if he was taking a stroll. One by one, they were actually frightened when facing the confident Indeed Jusheng. In their minds, people coming from the Transit Island and Red Moon Island are weaklings who can be easily bullied. So they are so arrogant. When they really encountered an existence that could threaten them, they were all terrified. I advise you not to be impulsive. The power of our true continent is definitely not something you can offend. The leader of the true continent said in a deep voice. He brought out the forces of the real continent, in an attempt to scare Huaxian and the others. I thought, keep calm, going to the real continent will be the end of you. As the pirate king of the Sea of Death, the dead spirit Jusheng is extremely decisive and kills directly. Tiu. The 5th level God King fought against the 3rd level God King, and was overwhelmingly unable to kill him. Keep attacking. As for those who are at a lower level and have no reaction at all, don't kill them. In a matter of minutes, the scene became a river of blood. And all the strong men in the true continent, no matter how strong or weak, were lying in a pool of blood. Achia J. Yusen and others from Red Moon Star were all stunned with shock. The rest of the onlookers were dumbfounded and extremely terrified. I'll clean up the mess. The evil spirit Yizu sensed Huaxian's murderous intent towards Achia J. Yusan and the others, and took the initiative to attack. Don't want. These guys yelled out these 2 words in fear and were killed by the evil spirit Yizu. Do weak. There isn't even a high-priced super god level 1. After resolving the issue, Huaxian took the lead and walked into the landing site of the True Continent spacecraft. The undead, the life-destroying ones, tacitly moved away and looked around to see if any of the people they brought were alive. Huaxian came directly to the spaceship from the real continent. A very large and advanced spacecraft that can accommodate millions of people at the same time. There are also guards from the True Continent on the spaceship. Still don't know what happened. Seeing a human coming, the leading general shouted angrily, "Where did this lowly human come from? You are looking for death." He actually took direct action. He grabbed a spear from the subordinate next to him and threw it at Huaxian. The next moment, the spear froze. Huaxian continued to walk slowly towards the spaceship. Boom boom. The frozen spear exploded inch by inch with Huaxian's steps. The scene was amazing. The soldiers on the spaceship were all terrified. "General, what realm is this guy at? He seems very strong." The soldier next to him asked in horror. The general was extremely shocked and realized that this human race was no ordinary being. He asked in a deep voice, "Sir, are you also from the True Continent?" Huaxian smiled and said, "It's good that you know." At this time, the undead and the dead life all rushed over. Everyone had a gloomy face. When they came to Huaxian, they said in unison, "Hubby." They didn't find anyone, it seems they were all sacrificed. After all, they came here together, and many of them were bandits who had followed him for many years. So naturally he had some feelings for them. Huaxian said coldly, "I'd kill all those who should be killed, as revenge for them." "Honey, we already did that." Huaxian nodded. "In that case, let's get on the spaceship. It's time for us to return to the True Continent. Since everyone thinks he is from the real continent, he might as well treat himself as being from the real continent." Huaxian took the lead and boarded the spaceship. The soldiers of the escort team, after witnessing Huaxian's explosive strength, dared not make things difficult for him. They respectfully lowered the shortcut stairs and welcomed Huaxian and his companions onto the spacecraft. After boarding the spaceship, Huaxian ordered, "Take off to the real continent." "But sir, the lords who came with us this time have not arrived yet. And it is not time for us to return yet." Chapter 613. Why didn't they issue slave rules? Huaxian said inferently. "They have already returned early, take off quickly." Feeling the murderous intent, they were not stupid and immediately understood the meaning of returning. I was shocked in my heart. Most of them were powerful God King level warriors. Yet they died in such a tragic way. The spacecraft took off and left the transfer island. Countless people on the transit island were confused. The people who have just applied to go to the real continent haven't even boarded the spaceship yet. So how come the spaceship took off? Among the crowd, there are also colorful water clams. She had already used her connections to get a spot, but she didn't expect the spaceship from the real continent to fly away. He shouted angrily, "Hey, we haven't even boarded the spaceship yet. How can you do this?" "That's right, I spent a lot of money and all my chances to buy the chance to go to the True Continent. And you actually lied to us." Countless people roared. The general said to Huaxian, "Sir, these are slaves being transported to the True Continent. Each of them is at least equivalent to a demon crystal. Are you sure you want to abandon them?" "Demon's essence?" Huaxian muttered, and then said, "Let's return first and inform them that there are still people going to the True Continent. They only have 1 hour to board the ship." "Yes, sir." The spacecraft was then launched. "Everyone on the transit island who is going to the real continent, listen up, you only have 1 hour to board the ship. There are 1 million places available. Get on board as fast as you can to go to the real continent. Hurry, go to the landing site of the True Continent spacecraft. It seems that there are no restrictions this time until let the quota run out." Everyone knows that this spacecraft can accommodate about 1 million people. And no one wants to miss this opportunity. The colorful water clam also rushed into the crowd, running madly towards the spaceship of the true continent. In the eyes of countless people, this is their chance to rise to prominence. After getting on the spaceship, Shui Bang Duokai looked around for Hu Xian and the others. After seeing it, he squeezed through the crowd and ran over. He came in front of Hu Xian and said proudly, "Despicable human. Did you see that? I can still go to the true continent without you." Hu Xian smiled and said, "Go ahead, but don't cry when the time comes." "I won't cry. I will definitely do better than you." I thought to myself, as a beautiful girl, I only need to find a capable and genuine mainland husband. When the time comes, I'll trample you under my feet. Less than an hour. The general of the escort team gave a loud order. The quota has reached 1 million, close the hatch of the spacecraft. Wait, I haven't gone in yet, I'm already at the door. Please let me in. That's right, we are already at the door. Please open the door and let us in. Countless people who had not yet boarded the spacecraft begged desperately. However, the spacecraft had reached its maximum capacity and took off directly. Those who did not get on the spacecraft were left feeling upset and regretful. I secretly hated myself for not running faster. Some people also hated themselves for being near the landing point of the True Continent spacecraft in the past days. But not today, and missed the opportunity to go to the True Continent. Everyone on the spacecraft was extremely excited. The guards looked at them with contempt and pity. I can finally go to the True Continent, it's been 50 years. And my chance has finally come. That's right, fortunately. The list of people going to the True Continent this year was not selected through a selection process. Otherwise I would definitely not be qualified. That's right. In the past, they always selected the best candidates. We had no chance at all this time, they didn't select the best candidates. We finally got what we wanted. Hey, did you see how regretful and desperate those people who didn't board the spacecraft were? The spacecraft was traveling at an extremely fast speed and it was far away from the transfer island in just a few minutes. The commander of the guards gave the order, give them the slave manuals and see if they can still be happy. Yes. The guard team consists of only 1,000 people, but the worst of them are at the 80th level of Super God. As for the people who landed on the spacecraft, except Hu Xian and his group, the most powerful one was only at the Super God level 60 or so. Therefore, even if there are 1 million people, they are nothing but prey in front of a guard team of 1,000 people. 1,000 people distributed brochures, and with a wave of their hands, the brochures flew in front of everyone. The deputy general announced loudly, "This is the slave manual. It contains all the precautions and rules. Anyone who violates it will be killed. Those who disobey will die." The guard before him burst out with a powerful aura, covering millions of people and shouting murderously. Suddenly, the excitement on these people's faces froze. Some of them can't recover. Aren't you going to the real continent to seek development? Everyone fantasizes about a better future. How come you have become a slave now? Someone reacted and looked at the first page of the manual, which contained the word slave rules. His body trembled violently, and he looked at a soldier and asked, "What do you mean? You treat us as slaves?" The soldier said disapprovingly, "What else? Do you really think I treat you as treasures?" Then he looked at all the slaves and said loudly, "To tell you the truth, you are our slaves, just pawns to make money." What? Those who hadn't reacted yet were shocked. Also angry? "Why do you do this?" someone asked angrily. Someone else asked, "So, those people you took away in previous years were also slaves?" "Yes, they are all slaves." "No, I don't want to be a slave in the True Continent. Let me go, I want to leave." Someone immediately collapsed. This guy was killed instantly. The soldier who made the move said coldly, "Remember, you are slaves now. You have no choice but to memorize the slave code and make a good effort. Anyone who dares to cause trouble will be killed without mercy." Their faces were filled with despair, but they dared not say a word. At this time, a deputy general shouted, "Don't be discouraged. Although you are slaves, you are still slaves in the real continent. As long as you perform well and are appreciated by the boss who bought you, you still have a chance to turn things around. Once you turn the tables, you will be superior to others, so even though you are a slave, it does not mean you will be a slave forever." Hearing this, some people thought it made sense. After all, the weak are equivalent to slaves everywhere. Some people calmed down and studied the slave code seriously. After all, if you want to do well and please your master, you have to study well. The colorful water clam was holding the slave rules and was very scared. Looking not far away, Hu Xian and his friends who had not been issued slave codes seemed to have discovered a new world. Shouted, "Why don't they have a slave code?" Many people finally recovered from their sadness and looked at Hu Xian and the others. More people pointed and said, "Yes, why didn't they hand out slave codes?" These people obviously did not see Hu Xin and his team take action. Those who saw it were horrified. Someone whispered, "Don't talk nonsense, that human race must be from the true continent. He is extremely cruel to his own people. If you offend him, you will die." Chapter 614, I Must Take Revenge. A soldier walked up to Shui Bang Duokai and slapped her in the face. The force was so great that it knocked her flying and knocked down a large number of people. But no one dared to complain because the soldier had a very unfriendly look on his face. The soldier then shouted angrily, "How dare a slave point at our master? Do you want to die? Grown-ups?" Also saw Hu Xin and his men take action suddenly realized. As expected, this human is an adult from the true continent. The colorful water clams were stunned. It took him a while to react. And he muttered in disbelief, "Is he really from the true continent?" And his eyes fell on Shui Bang Binglan. No wonder the 5 elders would succumb to him. Hu Xin smiled and said, "It is your own choice to go to the true continent. And it is your fate to be a slave. Remember the slave code well. Else, like what the general said, maybe you still have a chance to turn things around." After saying that, he hugged the dead spirits Jusheng and Yuzyan beside him and walked towards the residential area. The other heroines followed behind enviously, each wishing they were the one being hugged. The leading general had a good vision and could see what Hu Xin was going to do. He quickly came over and said, "Sir, please come this way." Led the way in person. Soon we arrived at the most luxurious room on the spaceship. Not only is the environment here good, everything is private. Even the cooks and servants are private. This treatment is obviously the treatment for the strongest person on the spacecraft. Hu Xin nodded with satisfaction. Then he looked at the beauties and asked, "Who will sleep with me this time?" After all, they are all his wives, so Hu Xin can't neglect others. After saying this, he walked into the room alone. Everyone looked at each other and understood Hu Xin's intention. Chiaruya was the first to speak, "I'm pregnant and can't sleep with you." The others looked at each other. The most powerful demon was extremely ugly and said, "I am not interested in sleeping with you." I thought to myself, as long as you don't take the initiative, I will definitely not take the initiative. Then I'll go, and you can decide next time, GFE, I said and walked into the room. I thought to myself, my husband hasn't pampered me for a long time. Everyone else had no objection, as they all knew that GFE was the first person to follow Hu Xin. They also learned from GFE that it was she who saved Hu Xin when he was seriously injured. Thus, based on this relationship, it is difficult for them to compete with GFE. In the room, Hu Xin is ready. GFE, I looked at Hu Xin, who was waiting naked, her face blushing a little. Mainly because I'm not used to it. Hu Xin said with a smile, "Wife GFE, why are you still shy? Hurry up." GFE looked at things that he shouldn't have looked at. And it was even more of a cultivation. I thought to myself, it seems to be stronger than before, can I bear it? As he walked towards the bed, his clothes fell off and then he started fighting with Hu Xin. After a few hours, the battle ended. GFE was so tired that he fell asleep. Hu Xin hadn't slept for a long time, and he fell asleep comfortably in his arms around GFE. Night falls. Hu Xin woke up and found GFE still sleeping. He did not disturb her and walked out of the room alone. Grown-ups. Unexpectedly, there were 2 soldiers waiting at the door. Hu Xin nodded and walked to the deck outside. There were many people on deck. Although they were not classified as slaves, their freedom would not be restricted as long as they did not act recklessly. Seeing Hu Xin coming out, countless people looked over. Some are curious, others are hostile. I think I became a slave because of him. Some people also have their own little thoughts. A pretty beauty walked towards Hu Xin. I thought with so many beautiful women around him. He must be a lustful man if I take the initiative to approach him. Maybe I would have a chance and I wouldn't have to be a slave. He was about to reach Hu Xin. A loud and mournful roar was heard. "Hu Xin, you bastard, you are obviously from the true continent. Why didn't you tell me?" It was just that he was slapped by a soldier. And the colorful water clam with a bloated face walked over. Hu Xin still has feelings for this girl. After all, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have been able to get the opportunity in the magic pit. He said with a smile, "How can I tell you if you don't ask? You did it on purpose." A colorful water clam came to Hu Xin angrily, and looked at him from a close distance with his head tilted up. Hu Xin reached out and stroked her swollen face and asked, "Does it still hurt? What do you say? I'll give you a slap and see." The colorful water clam still spoke angrily, but it scared the people around. I thought to myself, you are too bold, you dare to offend a real master from the mainland. I am afraid your life is in danger. Hu Xin smiled and said, "You still want to hit me? I'll punish you." He picked up the colorful water clam and turned away. This scene stunned the onlookers. What's going on? Many people have this doubt. Some thoughtful girls were very happy. I thought to myself, this human leader from the true continent is really lustful. I have a chance. Instead of going to the real continent to be a slave to gain opportunities, it is better to cling to the thigh of this human leader now. The colorful water clam was also stunned. It was not until Huaxian carried her into an empty room that she reacted. He asked in panic, What are you going to do? Huaxian chuckled and said, What do you think? How should I know? The colorful water clam's breathing became rapid. Huaxian put her on the bed with a smile and then undressed her. No, we can't do this. The colorful water clam caught up with the refusal, and his actions had already relaxed and he closed his eyes. Huaxian gently took off her clothes. The cold feeling shocked the colorful water clam to the extreme. Huaxian took out a silver needle and started acupuncture. The slight pain made the resigned Shui Kaiki open his eyes and asked in confusion and anger, What are you doing? Huaxian looked at her and smiled. Your face hasn't recovered yet. It looks like you're seriously injured. I'll help you heal. Otherwise, what do you think I'm going to do? The colorful water clam asked speechlessly. Then you will strip me naked? Huaxian smiled and said, What about acupuncture? If the injury on your face is not treated in time, I'm afraid it will affect your beauty. And if you want to treat him in time, you have to use acupuncture all over your body, using a secret method to treat him. By the time I finish acupuncture, he will basically be cured. Are you sure you only want to give acupuncture? Have you ever thought about